That's why I love sitting next to you.
Hey everybody, welcome to Wither and Bloom Studios. We are going to play some Daggerheart tonight. How are you all doing? Guys, you ready to play?
Oh yeah.
We are so back. We're so here.
I'm hyped.
Alright, so I have some things that I kind of want to put out there before we begin. First of all, we are up 200 subscribers, 203 to be exact, from where we left off a week ago. So that's awesome, and thank you for that. Thank you, like, immensely for that.
Spears.
Gotcha. Got to make one correction. I will be right back. First of all, we are up 200.
Echo.
Echoes.
That's awesome. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Something's got to push us out.
Should we all freeze?
Guys, pick it up for me and just talk to everybody.
Yeah, so
Hey.
there's an echo going on, but let's not pay attention to it. Let's.
We're having-
Let's see if there's
The
anything
best
in
way
the
to,
comments.
not pay attention to it is just draw attention to it and just address the
Yeah.
echo elephant in the room.
Oh my god.
But,
Did somebody find the Hat Man already?
No way.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna be honest. I totally forgot that we were doing the Hat Man
Wait,
bit.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Where is it?
I'm trying to look on the big screen.
Oh, I see
it.
him. I see him.
Oh yeah, I see him.
Damn.
Smaller than last time.
Did somebody find the Hat Man?
Okay, that's just weird.
Just turn. Is it your laptop?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, chat. We're getting this.
Yeah.
Chat, don't clip that.
Don't clip that.
Okay.
It says that there's no echo on YouTube.
No, I know it's
Yeah,
in here
yeah,
though.
no,
It will
it's-
come through YouTube. We should be good now.
All right.
Okay,
We're
it's
good
way
now.
branding.
Okay.
No,
Again,
Jesus.
like I said in session 0, no matter how much you prepare, there's always going to be one glitch.
Some shit's
At
gonna go
least
down.
one. Anyway, oh my god. So number one, thank you all for subscribing and following along. We're so excited to have you here. We have a really, really cool campaign for you tonight, which I am really excited to play. But first things first. Number one, we're going to be doing a giveaway tonight. So we have a terrain model, 3D printed terrain model of a house, which, can you pull that up for me? Which is absolutely fantastic. And so we are going to be giving away this model on our stream tonight. Now, the way that you get this model from us, number one, you have to join our Discord. When you get over to the Discord, you're going to see instructions on how to participate in the giveaway, and then we will give this away at some point tonight. At that point, I will message you, I will DM you in Discord, and I will get your shipping information, and we will ship that out to you. All right, so second thing, I want to give a personal thanks to Ravenflight on our Discord for doing all of our character art, which you're going to see in a little while. But Jay, aka Ravenflight, who is credited in our video description, did all of our character art for us, and it's fantastic.
It's fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
good, right?
It's fan-freaking-tastic.
I was so stoked. I still am so stoked.
Well, Jay did a great job of working with all of you to make sure
Yeah.
that the vision was what you expected. And
Such a great collaboration.
And it was really fast.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like lightning, Jay.
Go to sleep every once in a while, for Christ's
I
sake.
know. I would.
Was yours
fucking
done in
nap.
the middle of the night?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like 2 in the morning. It shows
Yeah.
up 4 in the morning.
Yes.
It's like,
It got to me 12 minutes after I went to bed.
Yeah. I was almost the same thing. Yep.
I'm an
was
old ass
driving.
man. I was in bed long before that came in.
It's fantastic.
We love you,
Yeah.
Jay.
So Jay, thank you for that. We really appreciate
Super
it. Okay, next thing. Let's go around the table. I know that we did have a session 0 and we talked about who we were playing and what our names are, but let's just do a quick introduction of who we are, who we're playing, and I think that would probably suffice. If you want to know more about these characters, you can jump back to session 0 if you'd like to, which is available. We did that last week. But Eric, you want to start us off?
Hi, I'm Eric, and tonight I'll be playing a Draclank, Tinkerborn community, Flocutus. I don't know. You want a brief description, or you just want to show people what I look like?
I can
Are we
put
doing
up
that?
what you look
Are we
like.
doing
Oh,
that?
we getting the character art?
Character art.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. There it is.
Oh, there, Flocutus
so
is.
Over here.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll be
so
able to
flow is got a little Dracona, a little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll, and has some cyborgish tendencies. Let's just say that.
Nice. Yeah.
Interesting.
Garrett, you want to go?
Okay, I will take it. Hey, Garrett. I will be, well, now you can see it on the screen. I will be playing an assassin, which is part of
The Void.
The Void. Daggerheart's playtest material, The Void. So I'll be playing the assassin, the Executioner's Guild. I'm playing a half simia, half human, half simia, Slyborn assassin.
Nice.
He's, shadowy.
And one thing I'd love to hear from you in all of this is about how the assassin plays, so that we can kind of get back into the void and give some feedback there. Because
I enjoy doing that. We played a marathon right after the material came out, and I played, at the time it was called Fighter. Currently it's called Brawler, and I really enjoyed playing that. I keep playing with the new stuff that keeps coming out.
yeah,
So,
it's good. You're a good player.
Having fun
You're
with
the
it.
guinea pig.
I'm the guinea pig. I'm the
Yeah.
play tester. It's fine.
Guinea pig Garrett.
Oh my god.
All right, Rich.
Oh, I didn't say his name. I mean, you. Is it on the screen?
Yeah,
oh,
it's on the
Corin.
screen. Yeah.
Corin Vex. So that's it.
Excellent. Go ahead, Rich.
Hi guys, I'm Rich, and I'm going to be playing Rook. Rook is a primal sorcerer infungrel, which is half Inferni, half fungrel, and I'm super excited to be playing him. He's kind of a insomniac sleuth detective, so I'm really excited to be playing this character.
Nice. Olivia.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm going to be playing Valith. She is an elemental sorcerer, Inferni, and I'm super excited. She's also blind, so I'm very excited to be playing her.
I didn't see
It's
that
gonna be
coming.
fine. No, wow. Neither did she.
So insensitive.
Fantastic.
Wow.
And then there she is. You can see her. Like,
All right, Atticus.
Hi, I'm Atticus, or Addy, whatever you want to call me. They, them. And today I'm on tank duty. I am playing Sparky, a clank guardian of the stalwart variety. 9 foot tall, big boy. The art, I think, is on right now. And it's super, super fun. I'm really excited to play this character.
Addie, can you do me one favor?
Hit me.
The overlay for your character that had the translation of your numeric
Yes.
name did not make it up, but we'll get it up eventually. But could you just talk about how your name is spelled?
Yeah, absolutely. So the designation is SP4K-33, which has been kind of letterized to Sparky. So yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, I think that works great. Nice. All right, and I'm Todd, and I will be the GM for this campaign, and this campaign does take place in the city of Amicora, which is part of my world-building setting of Vesper, so I'm excited to bring that to you. Yeah, Rich?
Before you start,
I'm not starting yet, but go ahead.
let me get into the bets.
Oh, the bets. Yeah.
Forgot about the
Wait,
Friendly
can I
wagers?
say one other thing real quick before you
Yeah,
get to the
yeah,
bets?
yeah.
I would just like to point out the shirt that I got for this, which I think kind of needs to be shown. I think we need to kind of see
This is on our website.
right?
You can
I
you can
think
own this.
This does not. Yeah, this is on our website, so you could own this. Shameless plug for the merch on our website at witherandbloomstudios.com. But come on, man, I'm going to spend a fear. I'm going to spend more than a fear.
Scary.
Let's talk about the bets.
Okay, so you can get involved in our game. There is a way, if you join the Discord, there is a little channel that is bets and predictions, and you can bet on certain things you think are going to happen in the campaign, and if they do, you will have a certain code to type in the chat on YouTube and make something happen in this game. So right now, the bets we have placed: Olivia crits first.
yeah, we'll see.
Garrett kills the first enemy. 2 people voted for Rich takes the first death move.
I think that's
I think
very
it's gonna happen.
reasonable.
I think it's gonna
that
happen.
makes sense.
Rich is the first to roll with fear, is one person.
Also.
And one person also said Sparky kills the first enemy.
Yay.
So keep those in mind, and some people may make impacts on the game.
Did we talk about what they get if they win?
Yeah, so you'll get either the choice to say either boon or bane if you win. And do you want to explain how boon and bane is going to kind of like...
Yeah. So if you, for now, we won't be able to digitally keep track of this on the screen, but if you do happen to win your bet and you choose a boon or a bane, you will be able to use that boon or bane during the game. Meaning, if you say get a boon, that boon might be give any player a hope. And then at any time, you can drop that in the chat and we will give that player that hope. Maybe it's clear a stress. Maybe it's, hey, maybe it's give the GM a fear.
No.
That would be on the Bane side of things,
No.
which I would appreciate.
It's kind of cool, though.
we just got another one in by Gunslinger. Garrett is going to crit first.
Oh, so it's you and I for critting first.
All
Okay.
right. Yeah,
I
so
mean,
if you're out there, get in there and
Someone
try
might
it.
think giving the GM a boon a fear.
True. If you wanted
Sounds like
to
more
take
spam.
your boon and make that a
Don't give
boon
more
for me
ideas.
and a bane for them.
Has no one betted on Flacutus?
Oh no.
Kind of makes me sad.
Well,
It'll happen. It'll
better.
happen.
Yeah, we're just getting there.
It's okay, Flacutus. You'll get, someone will bet on you.
Flo can go with that. She can go. They can go. With
Now
Flo.
Flo's just gonna do everything.
that.
As a
They're all
sort of
gonna lose.
plug,
Yeah, right.
go with the flow.
Suckers.
Oh my god, that's bad. Boo.
New shirt design.
Yeah, go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Okay, so couple of other things. As your GM at the start of the campaign, I get 1 fear token for every person in the campaign.
Lame. Big lame.
I think that's kind of fun. It's
kind
So I'm going to
cool.
start with 5 fear tokens. And you're going to see that fear token counter. That fear token. That one. Go up to 5.
That one right there.
Sweet.
That one.
Now
Perfect.
-5.
I kind of love I love how the tokens you're using kind of has like an Andira bead kind of vibe.
It definitely has an Andira bead kind of vibe, and I will also tell you that this glass that they're going into, small though it is a glass from a bar in a town a medieval town in Germany that boasts being the oldest bar in all of Europe, and it is called Hell. So I've been to Hell. I brought back the glass, and my fear resides in Hell.
That's actually really
So
cool.
how about that? All right.
My nipples are hard. I don't know about it.
Whoa!
Somebody
Wasn't there a
has
bet
to see
for
what you're
for sexual innuendo?
Well,
There-
they didn't bet on
oh!
Flocutus.
They bet on Todd.
Was that actually in the Discord?
Yes,
Yeah, Eric.
It was.
Eric put it in there.
Of course.
Awesome. Well, you win some, you win some.
Oh my god. Yeah, they want to see what the tokens
Transparent.
look like.
But they want to see what the tokens look like. Yeah. So we have these nice little stone glass beads that are purple in color. They might not read
Put a hand
correctly.
behind it. You gotta be like the influencers.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Nice. I currently have 5 of them. Now I would love, eventually, to get a more prominent and obviously displayed fear counter. I'm working on that. But for now, tokens in a glass from hell. Okay. Last but not least, I'm going to read to you and open this with a description of Amicora. But before we do, I have one last thing to do.
Everyone make a death move.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Already?
Oh, what's he doing? What is that?
One of the mechanics in Daggerheart that I absolutely love is the timer. Now, the timer mechanic allows me to place a timer with a die of my choice on the table that will trigger something. The beauty of this is I don't have to keep it a secret. I can if I want to, but I don't have to. I can reveal to you what this timer is. I can put it on the table so you can see how many ticks are on it. And I will be putting this timer on the table tonight at 20. Now, what this timer triggers has yet to be known. But you may find out.
Anxiety.
That's the first thing.
Great.
I will also place a second timer on the table. I've got these fantastic heavy steel D6s
With the timers.
cut from steel stock. This is a D6. Now, as you will soon find out, Amicora is a coastal port city. The tides of our influence in this campaign. This timer is for the tide. So, every 2 hours, this will change a number. When this is at 1 or 2, the tide is coming in. When it is at 3, we are at high tide. 4 and 5, the tide is going out. And when it sits at 6, the tide is at low tide. I will do my best to keep track of this the entire game. But this is going to be important, and you will want to reference this. Now, chat, if at any time you would like to know what is the status of the tide, you can ask in the chat, and we will do our best to get that back to you. But it will become important. So I'm starting this at 1, meaning the tide is coming in. And I'll place that on the table as well. Any questions about our timers?
What'd that 20 do?
Yeah,
tell you
I
yet.
got questions.
Can't tell you yet.
I think the fact that you're using it on that D20 specifically
Is the problem.
is terrifying. For those of you who don't know, Todd uses that D20 in our Rising D&D campaign and has like pretty much massacred everyone at the table with it at one point. I think it's terrifying.
Too many nat 20s.
It rolls very well.
It rolls well. As a timer, it's more of an inert thing, but it does have consequences.
Still terrifying.
So, are we ready to begin?
Inertly
Do it.
terrifying.
Yeah!
Do it.
All right.
Scared.
I'm going to switch a few things here. Let's keep our music going, but let's add a little bit of atmosphere to what's going on. That should do. All right. Here we go. Amicora, the second largest city on the continent, is carved into the edge of the western coast with a weathered grandeur. Its towering stone walls and salt-crusted buildings stand as a testament to centuries of sea winds and ocean spray. The air is thick with brine, the cries of gulls, and the ever-present soundscape of a port city in motion. Waves slapping against piers, creaking ships, the constraint or the constant chatter of sailors, merchants, and fishermen. 3 or 4 dozen fish markets crowd the wharf, offering an abundance of inexpensive fish and exotic sea creatures fresh from the deep. And beyond the docks, narrow streets wind into vibrant marketplaces where foreign traders sell dazzling fabrics, rare materials, and invented devices from all over Vesper. Amicora thrives on exchange, not only of goods, but of ideas, secrets, and ambitions. Its plazas and alleys buzz with music, conversation, and opportunity, where fortunes are made and lost with the changing of the tides. Yet it is not merely trade that defines Amicora, it's invention. The city is a haven for artificers, alchemists, and rogue engineers. Steam-powered carts, glowing crystal lanterns, and arcane contraptions crowd the streets, powered by both steam and the arcane. In cluttered workshops, lit by bluish flame, tinkerers craft machines with whirring gears and alchemical engines. Here, the line between science and sorcery is blurred, sometimes beyond what the world is ready for. Now, most striking of all are the clanks. Some mildly sentient, disturbingly real automatons. Others are clockwork beings, evident in their mechanical operation. Sometimes the cast-offs of failed experiments, and others are examples of pure engineering genius. they now all walk among the citizens as equals, running taverns, crafting their own inventions, and modifying themselves in increasingly bizarre ways. Some have glowing eyes and patchwork metal bodies. Others are more advanced and realistic as the tinkerers of Amicora continually push their craft. Regardless, they give Amicora its unmistakable steampunk identity, blending wonder with a faint edge of unease. Now, beneath this gleaming surface lies a darker current. The city's hunger for innovation has spawned black markets and dangerous experiments. In shadowed corners, rogue merchants deal in forbidden parts and unstable arcane technology. There are, of course, the sinister ambitions of those whose greed fuel their designs. The city has seen its share of rogue creations intent on doing harm. Accidents are frequent. Explosions, malfunctions, strange disappearances. But they are shrugged off as the cost of progress. In Amicora, the future is created in every back alley and gear-strewn laboratory, one iteration away from changing or destroying Vesper forever. And here we are.
And here we are.
You, as adventurers, are all present in this city, and I believe all currently living here. I believe that is correct. So, we're going to open this scene in a small office building. The office is dark, and we see in the corner a shadowy figure in the room staring at Rook as Rook sort of paces the room. The shadowy figure sits behind Rook's desk. You seem to be having a back and forth with this shadowy figure, although it's unclear what's being said at this time. The door opens to your office, and in walks, and I'm going to let you take this scene over from here. Would you like to describe to us what is going on here?
Yes, Rook, who is leather clad in his detective gear, mushroom atop the head, the ponytail-esque gourd coming down the side and the right side, and it looks like he hasn't slept in a while, and he hasn't. And the door swings open, and in walks a human detective. Red hair, red trimmed, neat beard, put together, young on the young and hungry side. And he kind of is a little taken aback and ends up asking who the hell I'm speaking to. And nobody. No, nobody. Going over notes, you know?
You're really stressed out lately. I've been telling you over and over again that this case is taking the better of you.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I told you, I'm fine.
I can't
We need to figure out what happened.
Listen, I can't remember the last time that you slept.
And I can't remember the last time you got off my back about it.
Fine.
Look. We bought time. All right? And we're running out of it.
When I come into your office and you're mumbling to someone who isn't there, maybe it's time to take a break. Maybe it's time to put the case aside, take a walk, go home, go to sleep. But could you just stop for a little while?
I think that's easy for you to say, Dred.
Well, listen, I don't want to have to take you off this, all right? But it might become necessary. I'm going to say this. Go outside, take a walk, get a breath of fresh air. If you need to stay here and stay on this case, fine. But just do me a favor for now. Let me know that you're at least hearing what I'm saying about how I feel about your health. Take a walk. There's a lot going on in Amicora right now.
The door shuts behind him. I kind of approach him. I'm just kind of like looking past him. Dren, If you take me out with this fucking case, I'll never speak to you again, you hear me? I'll take a fucking walk. Okay? But think before you speak.
I'm only trying to look out for you.
I appreciate it.
Do you leave the building?
I leave the building.
All right. You head out onto the street. Open the door. Shut it behind you. Look around. Take in the scene. And you begin to make your way up the street.
Reluctantly.
As the camera sort of, if we could imagine such a thing, pans out off of you and pulls away, we see, you don't see, we see in the distance another shadowy figure who happens to be looking at you. Would you, Corin, would you like to take over here? What do we see, Corin? I hate you.
Okay. So, as this guy leaves his office, I'm down the alley. I'm kind of lurking. You see, if you could imagine it, a fairly tall, 6 foot, grayish, furred Simia. Human facial features, pale skin. He's wearing darker colors, dark black armor. He's got, I would think he's got a notebook that he's, maybe looking through, maybe jotting something down. But he's got his eyes on the door of this guy's office. And he's just waiting. He's waiting for him to come out, and he sees this opportunity. And as this guy starts to walk down the road, Corin's going to walk up behind him.
Behind me?
Yeah, behind you. And I would think that you're, little in your own space right now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'm going to walk up and...
Mumbling things.
Yeah, you're mumbling things. And I'm going to walk up pretty silently. And I'm just going to put my hand on your shoulder. Rook, how you been? It's been a little while.
Yeah, that's
What's...
hey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What have you been up to?
I know. Busy. I've been very.
Busy.
I'm busy right now, actually. Just when I'm busy on my way to somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I mean... You wanna, I mean, I just wonder how you been. It's been a little while since I seen you. We were kind of friends. You're
It's been hard. These past couple months has been really hard.
it's just funny. On the list that I have of anyone that's not behind bars right now, that used to be part of the gang,
Yeah.
you're one of them.
So no, it's crazy. It's really how lucky
I mean-
are we? Like, is it like a sign of the universe that we're the only one of the only people that are out still?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you work with this detective, and now the rest of the gang is behind bars, and I don't know. I just
Wait, you know what? Sorry. I'm in a rush right now.
Oh.
I'm really in a rush.
Okay.
We should chat sometime.
Okay.
Yeah, let's meet up.
Well,
at
I know where
Phil's.
you work, so
Oh. Okay. Yeah, no, it's really good to see you.
no, it's good to see you too.
It's really good to see you.
Yeah. I'm gonna reach down and I'm gonna shake his hand, and I'm gonna give it a pretty good grip.
I'm gonna try my best to grip back, but I'm severely weak.
Now, I'd like to add something to all of the scenes that you are about to bring in, including Corin and Rook.
Yeah.
I'd like to add something to this. You all individually know that an acquaintance of yours named Nala Vintlock or somebody that you know. Now, Nala Vintlock is the guild master for the Tinkerers Guild. She has called all of you individually together to meet with her this evening. So you're creeping up on that. The time of day right now is probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so you have about 2 hours before that happens. But realize that you know that, and you know that, but
I don't necessarily know.
you
if
don't know that
he's-
Rook's been asked,
Okay.
and you don't know
Interesting.
that Corin's been asked.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if you're in such a rush, I'll let you go.
Thanks.
I'll see you around.
Yeah, I'm gonna see you, Corin. It's really good to see you again. I'm glad you're back from your mission. Well, you look well.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't really.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk away
Okay.
hastily.
Yeah, I'll walk away. I think I would probably. I'm not gonna follow him. But I think I'll probably just start slowly walking down the road. Don't want to have this meeting later. Maybe I'll go get a drink.
Okay.
Something.
So as our scene sort of shifts, we find ourselves in a strange establishment, a sort of rogue building, kind of a cobbled together sort of structure. Inside we find 2 clanks together busying themselves. So in here we have Sparky and we have Flocutus. Would you like to sort of tell us what's going on here?
Sparky is perched on this small wooden stool. However, due to the fact that they're 9 feet tall and very lanky, their elbow joints kind of almost extend up past their shoulders to a disturbing degree. And they have this small wrench, and they're just gently tightening some screws and plates on their lower kind of chassis.
Okay. So you're kind of working on yourself.
Yeah.
Flocutus?
Flocutus is kind of distracted and looking out the window, staring off a little bit into the distance, but hearing Sparky maintaining themselves, ratcheting things down. Seems like you might have over-tightened that. 3 turns.
I would ask how you have a sense for these sort of things, but there would be no point. And I'll gently loosen up.
So much better to relieve that a little bit, yes?
Honestly, yes, you're right. It is far more comfortable. However, I don't correct you when you're maintaining yourself.
Totally noted.
I'll stand up and walk towards you, tower over you for a second, before reaching over the kind of like fin area on the back of your head and ever so slightly twisting one of the bolts just a little bit tighter. You are a little loose there.
Just a faint spark connects between your finger and the bolt behind the neck. That is a little better.
Do you two have, I'm guessing that the both of you understand that Nala Vintlock's invitation to come talk to her at 5 o'clock would be something you'd have both shared, unlike
Yeah,
some of the
yes.
others. What are you thinking about that? What's going on there?
I'm a little worried about getting out of the house. I'm not sure if a public event is a good idea.
Well, it's always good to maintain in the shadow. It's generally how we tend to roll, but I think it's important this time to risk it.
I suppose. I wonder if Aurora's involved.
Well, she did mention that she wanted to speak to us.
Yes.
You would know in this conversation that Aurora Flux has disappeared, right? So I know that this was not an announcement that was made at the beginning of this description, but the town is, and you've been part of this conversation because you know Aurora Flux, and Aurora Flux has vanished. And so you suspect that that suspicion of yours is correct.
I do hope she's involved.
Well, she has that tendency to be in the middle of things.
Yes. What is it that the organics say? She's fun to hang out with.
A party life force, perhaps? But now that she's gone, I'm a little concerned that some of the things that I was hoping to speak to her about won't be able to get an answer.
So, kind of want to pull this together a little bit.
Yeah.
You have this plan. You're probably feeling a little bit nervous about this. The connection that you have to Aurora Flux is an interesting one. This is probably a good time for us to talk about who Aurora Flux was, since you're having this conversation.
Yeah.
So Aurora Flux is a famous clank inventor in Amicora. She keeps one of the most notorious shops, but the most important part is Aurora is herself a clank that is desperately pursuing understanding how humans think, interact, spontaneously create, love, laugh, joke around. And this is something that has driven Aurora for a long time. Now, both of you, in some way, shape, or form, have a connection to that, which is why you know Aurora Flux. So, Sparky, what do you have that drives that connection in terms of your own personality and who you are as a character?
A similar curiosity. I can't help but wonder whether or not that was why she disappeared. Or the cause of it. I do not know.
And Flo, you also have this very interesting connection to why you enjoy Aurora Flux's company as well. And what is that?
She tends to understand and is very curious about the combination of the organic and the mechanical. And I get the feeling from her that she's genuinely interested in my perspective of it.
Would you care to share that perspective?
Well, certain things happen in certain ways. And sometimes we don't always understand it. It's like if you're working from a blueprint and suddenly something changes in the drawing while you're building it. You didn't expect it. You didn't understand where it came from. But it happened. This was the thing that she liked to talk to me about, was the unintentional sparks.
So philosophically, you guys had a really good connection.
She's very sweet. Yes. We felt a undescribable bond. Something that was familiar, yet a little bit strange.
All right, and we're gonna close the curtain on that scene for a moment. We're gonna shift gears a little bit. Pardon the pun. Sorry, I didn't mean to break everything. We're gonna shift gears a little bit. we see another individual that is currently meandering through the Tinkerer's Ward, the back streets of the Tinkerer's Ward, which the Tinkerer's Ward is an incredible cacophony of immediate architecture that just sort of found a need to be built and was built. There was no plan. Architecture is often wonky. One story sits on top of another story in a very askew manner. The streets are not straight. Some are narrower than others. Some are almost impassable. And you, Valeth, are wandering those streets right now with a sort of ability to make your way through a difficult situation, even though you have challenges in that way. Tell us what we see.
You see this 5'6", not super short, not super tall individual with her horns and her ears perked back. Like you said, kind of effortlessly maneuvering through these tight alleyways, through all these people, amongst all of the chatter and commotion and noise, using that almost like a tool. And she's got some things in her arms, you know, she's got some parts maybe here and there, some things that are kind of indiscernible to others, but to her, you know, mean something. And quite up the alleyway, you see a bird kind of flying through in front of her, maybe like 30 or so feet in front.
And in relation to how you've been asked to meet with Nala Vintlock in regards to Aurora Flux in a little while, what are you thinking about? What are your connections to Aurora, and how is this meeting, how is it making you feel?
I'm pretty comfortable with the meeting. It's not unusual for me to meet with her. I meet with her quite often. I think it's just to go over another design blueprint that she's been working on with me every other day. That's why I'm bringing over some new parts that I found for her. So I'm good. I'm excited. Okay. I got some ideas to bring.
Okay. So, let's talk about this a little bit. Because at the base of all of this, the disappearance of Aurora Flux has really shaken Amicora to some degree or another. But here's what you know. Aurora was just about to unveil something that she deemed to be very important, something that she called the Veritas Engine. Now, you all know that Aurora has worked on numerous inventions, that Aurora has spawned some incredible creations, and frankly, some catastrophic failures. Through your conversations with her, you know also that she pursues a kind of sentience. She wants to be more human, less robot, less clank. Now in Amakura, this is looked upon with a lot of skepticism. The Tinkerer's Ward is home to disasters, as well as beautiful inventions that people marvel at, right? And Aurora, being a clank herself, almost seems to be serving a sort of unmitigated side of that doesn't seem to necessarily have the moral compass that might stop something as severe as a clank gaining sentience. But you know that this is her passion, and she's worked on it. Now you know also, to some degree, actually, I would say that Valeth would definitely know this. I know that Sparky and Flocutus would know this. I'm not necessarily sure that Corin or Rook would know this. But you know of a story of when Aurora Flux encountered on the road just outside of Amicora, she found a hare, a large rabbit, that had been run down by a wagon that was speeding out of Amicora at a high rate of speed. The rabbit was twitching on the side of the road. Its head had sort of been like, its neck had been pushed in by the wheel of the wagon, and it was certainly going to die. And you watched as Aurora picked that rabbit up and brought it back to her workshop, closed the door, and quietly began to work on this thing. And that is something that, when she sort of revitalized that rabbit and brought that rabbit back to life, having the sorry, I'm looking for something here that I lost and I just totally broke my story. And the reason for that is this NPC I have changed the name on 4 times now.
4 times the charm.
So it's a little hard to keep track of it. Requiem. The rabbit's name is Requiem. And so Requiem is a really interesting example of Aurora's capabilities. What she did was she created an internal clockwork workings to help replace the organs that had been destroyed. It's fascinating stuff. So Aurora's incredibly talented, but she might also be a little bit more ambitious than the population of Amicora has the bandwidth to tolerate. And so she's constantly in and out of this controversy. Now, this thing that she was supposed to unveil was going to be unveiled at Symposium Hall, right? There's an annual event at Symposium Hall that takes place, and it is a big deal. It happens once a year. People come from all over Vesper to, sort of talk about inventions, to talk about new materials, to consider some of the topics of, sentience and these things. So the event that she is coming to sort of be part of is called the Tinkerers Guild Annual Showcase of Machines, the acronym for which is TGASM. An unfortunate acronym, of course, but the people of Amicora do snicker at this occasionally. It's the Tinkerers Guild Annual Showcase of Machines.
Thank you. I was writing it down as you hit me with TGASM.
TGASM.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Now, 2 days before TGASM was supposed to open, Aurora Flux vanishes. She's not to be seen anywhere. She's a regular person. She's a regular clank that is seen on the street. She's heralded by most of the community. Vanishes. Someone goes to check on her and finds that the door to her studio is locked tight. And on top of that, there is a deep, resonating hum coming from inside of her workshop that is not one that is of normal invention. It is not one that makes even people in the Tinkerers Guild feel comfortable. And so that is what is resonating from that space. It has gotten Amicora into a very nervous, anxiety-induced state. And this is probably what you're being called together for. Okay. So about 2 hours passes, right? And all of you, all of a sudden find yourselves on a corner where the Guild Ward and the Tinkerers Ward meet. There's a very common street there, rife with shops that sell materials as well as all kinds of old trinkets found in the ocean from fishing ships and nets, all kinds of things. There you are, meeting in front of this one corner between these 2 shops where Nala Vintlock has asked you to gather. She's not there yet, but all of you converge upon that street. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, early evening.
No.
Oh no.
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 There's no need for that.
I don't like that.
We can forget about that, actually.
Can we?
Yeah.
As we kind of all simultaneously approach this corner, I once again see my old friend Corin twice in one day, and kind of like as I meet eyes with him, this shadowy figure just kind of like creeps up over the side of his shoulder, looks me directly in the eyes, and says, "You're gonna die." And then I see Sparky, and I go up to Sparky.
Rook, you look bad.
Good to see you too. Good to see
You
you
have
too,
heavy
Sparky.
bags under your eyes.
Yes.
Have you slept?
You are so tall, and I love that about you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
I'll reach down, hug Rook, lift you off of the ground,
Oh, this is not embarrassing.
and then put you back down.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Pleasure.
Rook, Flow, Flow, Rook.
Hello.
I
How
think
you
that's
doing?
how introductions work.
This is exactly how it works. How you doing?
Good.
I'm well.
I'm well too.
I'm surprised he didn't give you a little shake when he lifted you.
Oh,
Sometimes he likes to do that.
he's done it before. It's okay. You guys are friends, I'm guessing.
We go back quite a bit, yes.
Nice. That's really cool. Are you here for a reason?
We were invited. Were you invited?
Yes. This is weird.
You seem off-put by you. Were you invited?
Oh.
What's your name?
Oh. I'm just leaning up against the wall.
Cool
My
guy.
name is Corin.
Hi.
Hi. Looking up at this 9-foot tall robot-looking creature.
I'm called SP4K-33, but you can call me Sparky, either with a Y or with a hyphen and 2 E's. I'm told that it's a hyphen, not a dash, when letters are involved.
Wow. Oh. Okay, Sparky. I didn't get those letters and numbers. That was a little too quick. But
Not
Sparky,
many do.
easy.
It's good to see you twice in one day. As I look for any kind of like escape to this situation, I see a woman, a Inferni woman, walking down the street, and it kind of joins the group. Pleasure, Rook.
As he introduces himself to me, for half a moment you can kind of see the smile twinge, just a hair, and then goes right back to a smile. Pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Nice guy you got in your shoulder.
Oh, this is Fig.
Yeah. You introduce his name before you say your own name.
Because as I introduce him, he's
Oh my
thank you. Thank you, yes! Well, you didn't tell me your name either.
Rook.
Bailiff.
Bailiff and Vig. Cool.
Who else maybe I be in the presence of?
Sparky, Flocutus, and Corn.
Flocutus is kind of saddled up next to Corin and is kind of wagging his own tail. And
Wait, are
you have
touching
a
my tail?
You have a tail, yes.
you about to touch my tail?
I mean,
Touch your tails!
Already?
Are they flirting?
mine is kind of investigating your tail. I'm hunkered down a little bit.
I think it's
Alright, I'm
great that
just-
Bailiff is blind so that she can't see them.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
Your tail is Flocutus.
Cutis. Okay. Corin. What are you doing back there?
I'm just your tail seems highly organic. I've not seen many other creatures with tails.
Bailiff also has a tail.
Ooh.
Wait, are there a lot of tails?
Flocutus's tail kind of flips up over
Oh my
its
God.
shoulder and kind of looks in your general direction.
Interesting.
Hello.
Hello.
You can call me Flo.
Oh, nice to meet you.
What's the vibes I'm getting from the raven or the crow?
It's a raven. It's a raven.
Is he looking at me?
Yeah. You can. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I'm like,
He won't take his eyes off of you.
I'm very preoccupied on this crow.
It's
I
a
believe
raven.
it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. All the birds are all the birds. This raven
And
wants.
he hits you with one of these every once in a while.
Snap in the
I
head.
literally,
Yeah, but
I start saying, whispering, please stop, please stop.
It seems I am the only one here without an extended
Aw,
appendage.
Clank. Are you a Clank?
Yes.
Oh, lovely to meet another Clank. I'm very close with you.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
There are quite a few of us. Although, I've been told by some that I am more unique than others. But I don't understand why.
You're
Maybe
special.
I'll find out.
Maybe we both will.
Exciting. He's still not chill.
Terrifying. I'm still. I'm gonna go up to the door and knock on it. Nala.
Oh, you all know Nala.
Yeah, I figure we're all here for the same reason. We're here.
You hear the stern footsteps, not necessarily of heels, but of almost metal on cobblestone, right? Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, coming around the corner. And all of a sudden you see this relatively tall, lithe woman come around the corner, and she sees all of you standing there, and she's like, oh, good.
Hello.
It's good to see you, Sparky.
It's good to see you too.
It's good to see you all. Velith, Rook.
Yeah, thank you for warning us of all of us.
Bailiff kind of dumps the parts towards her.
She kind of looks down suddenly, and she's like,
It's for the blueprints.
oh, thank you. That's much appreciated. She reaches down and begins to gather the things up. And she sees all of you, and she's like, all right. We shouldn't waste much time. I'll cut to the chase. You know that Aurora Flux is gone missing. And as Guildmaster, I have a responsibility. Aurora Flux's position in this guild, and frankly in the entire city, is one of great importance. We, as a ward, as a district, as a guild, as a society, as a culture, depend upon some good to come out of what we do, to maintain the image that all of us should be able to have, so that beings like yourself and others can live in this city in peace. Now, I don't know what's happened to Aurora, and I know that she's been guilty of a few disasters in her day, but she's done much good for this city. Her Veritas engine was something that I was particularly interested in, and I know would have done something great not only for the city of Amicora, but for Vesper at large. I don't believe this is an accident. I don't believe, as some do in this city, that she's holed up inside of her workshop with the door locked, intently working on some new discovery. Something's gone wrong. Something bad. Now, I've called you all together because I have reasons for each and every one of you, either through personal connection to Aurora herself, capabilities that some might have that I think could be useful, investigative experience, pure muscle, and in other cases, direct connection to intentions, understanding philosophies, and the culture at large as well. So, I need your help, and I'm willing to pay for it as well. But I believe we don't have much time. I believe that whatever it is that she's made, we're going to run out of time with. Something is wrong. There is a sound, a pulse, a resonance coming from that shop. We need to find out what that is. We need to find Aurora Flux and figure out what's going on and solve this, bring her back. The symposium opens in 2 days. It would be best if we could carry on like normal. I know this news has radiated all throughout the city of Amicora, and there's no putting that toothpaste back in the tube. But if we bring her about, and we're able to bring the Veritas engine to the symposium hall like we were supposed to, on schedule, we can go forth without a hiccup, and we can put this controversy to bed. Now, you also know that in the past I tolerate her. I have my own suspicions. I have my own doubts about her pursuits. Be careful. I don't know how far she's taken this. I don't know what the Veritas engine is truly capable of. But if she's done what she said she's done, rest assured, it is powerful indeed. Are there questions I can answer for you?
I have one. What was this engine supposed to do? Does anyone know anything about it?
Yes, she described to me in detail what it did. I've never actually seen it. But according to her, the Veritas engine is able to detect truth and lies, not through mere, connections with the person through, typical. An investigator might look to see if somebody gets nervous when they're asked a question and suspect that they're lying, but the Veritas engine was supposed to connect with the resonance of the individual's soul. Now, you all know as well as I do Aurora's connection to that. She's always wanted one for her very own. Still short of it, though. She seems to be getting close.
Have you talked to anyone else from the Department of Investigation?
Not at this point. I'm trying to keep this as quiet as possible, which is why I've come to you.
Makes sense.
Rook, I know that I can trust you and keep your confidence in this. This is not something I want shared with the rest of your office or your other colleagues.
I assume so. I just wanted to make sure.
Only she can trust him.
Yeah, Valeth kind of does a little when she says that, but like to herself a little bit.
Okay.
I ignore all this slander.
Fig still is on him, like locked.
Got it.
Yes.
Where do we start?
That's a good question. I feel as if a workshop would be a prime place to begin.
There's a hum coming from the shop.
That's correct, Flocutus.
I would like to be close to it.
That makes sense. Could also be danger. You never know. Should investigate it first, so it's not a bomb or something.
Have any of us, prior to her telling us about the hum, have we experienced the hum? Like, would I have walked past it, or like, have we?
In all likelihood, first of all, you all know where Aurora's workshop is. It's one of the more noteworthy buildings in the Tinkerer's Ward. It is about 7 stories high. It is on the far northern edge of the Tinkerer's Ward, which is up against the wall that sort of divides Amicora from the rest of the world. And her building actually goes up over the top of that wall, right? So you probably have walked past it because you wander the Tinkerer's Ward all the time.
Has it felt different to how other feelings have felt? That is such a vague way to say that, but do you know what I mean? How like you can feel like when thunder shakes the ground.
Yes.
Does it feel different than other things such as that?
Sure. I think with your
Or
sense
loud music makes the ground. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
like that resonance that
Yeah.
goes up through your body. Yeah, I would say you definitely noticed that there is something about that hum that, there are resonances that have rhythm. There are resonances that sort of work with your body's sort of pulse and hum and feel good. This does not feel that way. This has a dark, sinister, almost grinding sound to it. So it was something that did make you somewhat alarmed.
So we'll check out the office.
Yes.
I want you to keep this on the low. I don't want this known.
Of course.
Work quietly.
We are secret detectives.
That's right, Sparky.
I like that.
Before we go, could I have a word with you in private for a second? Just like around the corner.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks.
The rest of you, you know where to find me. I'm in the Guild District. Tinkerer's Guild. You can find me there. I don't suspect you'll need me, though. Work this one out. Figure out what's happened to Aurora and you bring her back. Report to me. No one else. Understood?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Before this meeting becomes too suspect, I think I should go. Rook, Let's have a conversation.
So we like move off to the side. Hey Nala, two things. Rev Raz. There was word of him downtown.
Yeah.
Dren's on it. He's investigating. He was spotted above ground. He's investigating it.
Rev Raz never comes above ground.
I know. Weird, isn't it?
Any other information for me?
They're investigating it. He may have been accompanied by some of his folk.
Listen, for all of Rev Raz's dark dealings, and certainly for my disdain of him, I cannot see him being involved in this Aurora thing. But
No, I don't think so either.
I wouldn't leave any stone unturned.
Fair. Second thing. Maybe next time, just warn me to who else you're inviting for me to meet up with.
And why would I do that?
Team up with, because I think we were friends, and I'm a little caught off guard, but it's okay. I'm gonna make this case happen for you, because I respect you.
That's good, and that's the reason I didn't warn you, because I need you. And if I had warned you, my guess is that you would have found a reason not to come. So here we are. Now, we don't need any kind of pact here, do we?
No, I'm gonna make this happen for you,
Okay,
because you've made things happen for me in the past.
that's correct.
I appreciate you. Just, I wanted to throw that out there. Maybe it's fine.
Good. All right then.
All right.
I hope to see you soon.
Yep.
And Nala disappears around the corner and leaves you. So, what are we doing? We have not had a dice roll yet.
Oh my god!
We are an hour into this without a dice roll. I'm guessing the chat is probably like, wait a minute.
It's like I thought that this was a
Why
game
are we
with dice.
rolling dice?
We're role playing.
We are making our way
Mm,
across town to the office.
Sparky is very
way downtown?
curious about the bird along the way. So I
Well.
think as the group is kind of walking, Sparky is at Vela's side and is just, does your bird have a favorite food?
Oh, berries.
What kind?
Any kind, really.
I'll keep an eye out.
Thank you.
Are your bird's feathers just black, or is there more of a color beneath it?
He has, from what I've been told, undertones of blue and navy and some deep dark blacks.
When does your bird sleep?
Almost never.
Wow. I don't sleep.
Really?
Well, I'm not alive.
As we're walking, she goes, "Would you mind?" And she kind of takes her hand and puts it on like the back of the equivalent of Sparky's elbow
Yeah.
as like a means of, staying with the group and to be led by Sparky.
Okay. And as you sort of turn away from the location and begin to walk, keep in mind that the streets are full of people, not overly filled with people. You're on the edge of the Tinkerer's ward, and so the Tinkerers kind of keep to themselves and, come out once in a while. But as you turn to walk away, you see this hunched over man who has terrible posture. And it almost appears like one of his arms is gone, but what's in its place is this completely mechanized form, and it makes this incredible sound when it moves. It's like as it moves. And as he's walking hunched over, his arm is moving. And he sees all of you, and he's like, well, damn, I never seen such a ragtag group of freaks talking to Nala before.
Who are you?
What you doing?
Do I recognize his voice?
Yeah, you know this person. This is a notorious guy in the Tinkerer's Ward. His name is Jinx, and he's a busybody. He's kind of like a town voice crier kind of guy, and he's just kind of like...
And what about the sound of his arm?
Yeah, you know that for sure. And actually, you would also know that Nala, who... Now, a couple of things about Nala that I didn't get into really quickly, so let me just back up for a moment. Nala is a retired tinker. And what Nala was very well known for is she actually used to make a lot of these prosthetic limbs for people that might have needed them. And so when she retired from working, mostly because she is much older. She has kind of an arthritic feel to her. Ironically, after helping so many people, she actually winds up unable to make her own devices. She goes on to head up and become president of, guildmaster of the Tinker's Guild. So, you immediately recognize the voice. You also recognize the sound of the arm. And he's just kind of like looking at all of you.
Jinx, take it easy. Take it easy.
What you up to?
Don't worry about it.
No? You're here. And, you're here. So, it must be,
Do we not like him?
Are you looking into Aurora? Is that it?
What do you know?
I know lots of things.
What do you know about Aurora?
Well, she's very pretty. But I will tell you this. I think she's in that workshop. I'll tell you that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You think she locked herself up in there?
Why not? She's a brilliant inventor.
That's all you know?
Well,
It's just hypothetical?
I know lots of things. What else you want to know?
What do you know?
No, you can't give me general questions like that.
Oh.
What do you know about the disappearance? Did you hear anything? See anything? I know you got your ear to the ground.
Well, I do remember one thing in particular, actually. I was out late last night, right? Sorry, no, 2 nights ago. Yeah, no, last night. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was last night. I think. Anyway, I was out, and I saw Aurora. I saw her, but it was awfully late. I don't normally see her out that late. And she was hurrying through the streets. She left her place, hurrying through the streets, but I swear I saw that door of hers close when she went back inside.
Interesting. And that was last night, you said?
I think so.
Can I
Is it late?
try to
at night?
detect?
It's like 6 o'clock in the evening.
Can I try to detect if there's any further information? I'm gonna use my scoundrel ability to possibly have advantage on that roll.
Oh, let's
Yes,
see
you want to
first roll.
start the rolling.
Is he
Roll
gonna
the
crit
night.
and break the bets?
Let's see.
I'm gonna say I'll allow you to do instinct or knowledge, your choice on this, given your background. And
We're gonna
what is it
do-
you're looking to ascertain?
I'm ascertaining if there's any more to this story that he's gonna need coercion to let out.
Go for it. Here comes the first roll, everybody.
First
First roll.
First roll, an
Let's
hour and
see.
change into.
All right. We're here, so we're doing instinct, obviously.
Which is your hope and which is your fear?
The obviously the blue one is my hope,
Okay.
and the black one is my fear. And I get advantage with this. That means I add a d6.
If you get advantage, you do add a d6 to the roll.
Okay.
And then do you intend. Sorry.
Not my bad.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
that's bad.
Here we go, chat.
Who bet that Rich was gonna roll with fear first?
Somebody did bet that. Somebody just won a bet.
Somebody want to bet?
Oh my god.
That's going to be 20 with fear.
20 with fear. Wow.
Oh my
First.
No! Look what you did. There's
Nice
a reason
job,
why we haven't done
Rich.
any rolls yet.
Did I do that? You know Jinx quite well because he's a local mouth.
Yeah.
And Jinx is absolutely holding something back here, but the twinkle in Jinx's eye is one that almost appears to be like he regrets beginning to tell you this information.
So, this. I see. No one else does. This being kind of stands up behind Jinx and grabs on to his hair and just holds him straight. So he feels like a sense of like he's being held for a second.
Oh, what?
And I'm gonna kind of like lean
What
down.
was that?
I'm gonna kind of lean down to him. Jinx. Hi. Why
Feels funny.
don't you tell me everything you need to know?
Are you going to actually try to intimidate him with this move? Is this something that you're...
You see, I'm negotiating with him.
Carry on.
Look at me, Jinx. I'm in a rush. I got a lot of things going on. Why don't you, we've done this dance a few times, right? So why don't you, tell
I gotta
me?
get my dinner.
Yeah, me too. Why don't you tell me what you know?
I told you I know lots of things.
And it pulls a little bit tighter on the back of his head.
Oh, ow.
Ow!
How you do
Tell me what's going on. Aurora, in the middle of the night, nobody was around her. There was no emotion on her face when she left. No, she didn't come back with anything in her hand.
She looked really scared. She looked scared.
She looked scared.
Yeah, she looked. And then
I'm gonna kind of loosen the grip a little bit.
there were. All right, I'm not supposed to say nothing.
Yeah.
Well, you know those slith creatures.
Yeah, keep your voice down, but yeah.
There were 2 of them.
With her?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, but what was even stranger, and it kind of scared me a little bit, but Aurora almost seemed to be like deactivated, or like she was kind of limp.
Do you realize how that's a very different story than what you said before? Was she limp on the way out or the way back?
Oh, she didn't come back.
What exact direction was it in? Downtown? East?
Deep
West?
she kind of went south through the Tinkerer's district.
Jesus. Okay. Hey, Jinx. Here. I'm gonna take
You
out...
let go of me?
I did let go.
Okay.
I'm gonna take out a little silver and hand it to him. Thank you.
Thanks. If you need anything else, you let me know, okay? And he kind of scurries off down the alleyway.
We keep moving to the office.
Do I know what that slint creature is?
I'm gonna have all of you make a knowledge roll for me. Actually, let's not do this all of us. How would we do this? Let's see.
Group roll.
Yeah, let's do a group roll. And I would say let's let Corin be the leader on this group roll. So to sort of fill you in on how a group roll like this works.
Please do.
In a group roll, we would take the person who would probably most likely succeed or have the experience to sort of coordinate this action, whatever it may be. In this case, it's knowing the knowledge of what this slint creature is. And given Corin's sort of presence in the city, it's likely he would be the one. So he's going to roll last. So I'm going to set a difficulty class for whether or not the rest of you know. And then each of you is going to roll. If you succeed, he gets +1 to his roll. If you fail, he gets -1 to his roll, and we collect that all together. So in a lot of ways, your collective knowledge of what you may or may not know will contribute to his knowledge. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. So just to be clear about this, the DC on this is a 12. So roll your dice, and it will be, because this is a group roll, we're not going to be rolling with hope or fear. You're just going to give me the number.
On knowledge,
Yes. That's okay.
6 from Sparky.
So that's a -1.
Oh, it's a 9.
A 9, it's -2.
That's -3.
-3.
Oh,
-4.
I'm sorry. I didn't think I was involved in this because I wasn't helping.
Group roll.
Group roll. Group roll.
Group roll.
Okay, I rolled both these?
Roll those and just add them up and tell me the number.
We add them?
Just the
Yeah.
flat number?
Yeah, them.
You didn't add your 2 dice. Did you roll 2d12?
Yeah, it was a 6 and a 3, so it was a 9. So
Still
it
-1.
didn't really change
7.
anything.
7.
So
Corin.
four minuses.
Corin, in the future, knowledge rolls as group rolls might not be the best idea.
Yeah.
I have
At least there's
+1 to knowledge.
but
I have 0.
And still rolled
You're going to
poorly.
make a roll
You got this.
that
bud.
you're going to apply a -4 to. I'll let you decide, though, if you want to make it a knowledge roll or if you want to make it an instinct roll. Or you can make it however you want, since it's your area.
Strength. Okay.
Brain blast.
Would my background of an assassin in the Simian gang have anything to possibly put towards this?
I will say that if you want to spend a hope to add that experience to this, you can.
All right, I will.
Okay. So that's another thing that you can do if your experience applies to, in some narrative way, the role that you're going to make on any level. You can spend a hope to apply that experience +2, in this case, to the role.
So, with my experience, I rolled a 19 with hope.
Ooh.
-4.
-4.
15 with hope.
Okay.
That's good.
That's actually
Okay.
quite a good roll.
Okay.
And I would say that, given your experience in the gangs in the city that you've had, it's no surprise to me that you know what you know. Yes, the Slinth. The Slinth are an engineered race of what are essentially giant sewer rats. A notorious a notorious tinkerer by the name of Revraz the Muzzle, who on numerous occasions broke the Tinkerer's Guild Pact over and over again. He was constantly at the center of controversy after controversy. There was a time when one of his explosions actually injured over a dozen people. And so Revraz the Muzzle was eventually ostracized. He lost his permits to work in the Tinkerer's Ward, and he was run out of town. Many believe he went underground. Now, the last straw for Revraz's sort of dismissal from the city was they had found that he had taken the sewer rats from underneath Amicora and augmented them with his latest technology. And he had created 3 sort of, for lack of a better word, minions that would follow him around. They were armored. They have augmented headgear that allows them to see in all kinds of light conditions. They were carrying backpack Andira-powered flamethrower.
What are we playing right
shit.
now?
That's so cool.
So yes, the Slint are rarely seen. They live in the sewers, and they have not come up to your knowledge, but
Now-
you do know what they are.
Do all these Slints have the backpack and Dira flamethrowers?
I would say on a 15 you would know that no, they don't.
Okay.
But your knowledge probably won't go much
But they're
past that.
kind of a, form of these ones that he created.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Slinth of unusual size?
I don't think they exist.
And keep your eyes out for rats.
I don't think we like that guy.
We do not like that guy. Good call.
What guy?
I don't like the way rats nibble.
Especially big ones.
Never thought about that, but I don't like the way they nibble either.
A rat once nibbled on my shoulder blade.
That's a pretty big rat.
I don't know what discomfort feels like, but I imagine that that's what it feels like.
It's fair. It's fair.
So you're working your way over towards the workshop of Aurora Flux.
Yes.
You wind your way through town, and you come around this bend. Now you're working your way north, right? And you're coming around a bend in the street. Who has the best presence?
Mine's a +2.
Sorry.
No, just kidding.
Actually, instinct, please.
I'm
Plus
+2.
3. Plus
I have
3.
a +3, a +3. Would you say?
Plus
Phelan?
2.
+2?
0.
0.
You're asking me about the wrong stats, man.
I would say that either of you with the +3, why don't you make me an instinct roll?
I've rolled already. You roll.
Thank you.
Yay.
That's very nice.
Yay, Flo.
So that is a...
Pretty dark up
Yeah, it's really dark over here. So that's a 17 with fear.
No! Stop with the fear!
Resources.
He's gonna
This is
murder us.
this is how it goes.
I know.
This is Daggerheart, man.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
I'm going to immediately spend that fear.
Oh! My God.
as the shirt suggests. And I'm going to shift this narrative a little bit for you.
Awesome. Great. We love
What was
that.
the number you rolled?
17.
17. You're really in tune with the early evening hours, and you probably have some kind of, mechanized, stimulated sense of what's around you. And you immediately feel something dark. Things suddenly start to feel like they are a little bit out of whack. And with that, you see something, because you're deep in the Tinker's Ward now. Between 2 barrels and a crate, you see a shadow pass by. And then a second later, another one across the road. The rest of the party's moving along like normal. And with that, you kind of hone in and you look. And then sure enough, you see one poke its head out. The sun is just going down. Dusk is falling. This is a quieter area because you're deeper in the Tinker's Ward. And you see one. This stout, short form, pointed face and nose, 2 very large glass-covered receptacles on the eyes, robes that drape down, a big giant bulge sticking up off its back. It's almost silhouetted in the distance as it pushes up from behind this barrel. And you see it. And this is going to bring us into a very, very tense situation.
Oh, no, 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 no.
And we're going to go to break.
How could you? How
But
could
when
you?
we come back from break, I think this is going to get really interesting. So,
Before
yes,
we go to
Rook,
break,
what do you got?
Before we go to break, we got some winners.
Yeah, we got some bets.
let's
we got
talk
some
about the
bet
winners of the
winners.
bets.
Winners of the bets.
Let's get into that.
To get into the bets, you got to join our Discord and go to the Clockwork Silence Bets and Predictions Forum. So we got, first off, Cersei. Rich is going to roll with fear first.
Yes.
You won a bet.
Cersei won that.
Cersei won.
Yep.
Good job.
Do we want to ask Cersei if they would like a boon or a bane?
Yeah, we can definitely do that if Cersei's in the chat. This might be something that they store for the next session. It might be hard to get in contact with everybody, but if they're here, we can definitely get in contact with them.
Okay.
What else we got?
There was a couple.
Owa got. Rich is gonna roll with fear first.
Nice. Owa won?
Owa won.
That's nice. All right. If any of you are out there in the chat right now and you hear your name being called, type in the chat, boon or bane. Owa, you can type that. Cersei, you can type that.
And everyone said Garrett was gonna be the first to crit, but no one said Garrett's gonna be the first to hope. So nobody got that one. So yeah, it's actually only 2 winners.
Well,
Okay.
no one has crit yet.
Nobody's
No
crit
one has
yet.
crit
So
yet.
that is
So-
still up for bets. So get your bets in. for
And
that one.
whoever is going to take out the first enemy, bet on that one.
Yeah, you
Or who's
definitely want
gonna
to bet on that.
die.
I'm on
first.
tank duty.
All right, so those are our bets. Cersei and Owa, comment in the YouTube, and we'll make it happen. Or in the Discord. Comment in the Discord.
So we're going to be at break for a little over 20 minutes. We got some cool videos to show you, so stay tuned. But we will be back, and I think there might just be a map on the table.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
We'll see you soon.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to take my great sword, right? I'm going to come at from the side, swing full force into his stomach. I want it to get jammed in there, and I'm ripping it out.
Oh, all right.
Taking the insides with me.
All right, make an attack roll.
All right. Okay, 19 with fear.
A 19 with fear. That's going to succeed. All
right, so as your blade slices through the midsection, you see this rogue traveler all of a sudden falter as his hands instinctively reach down for his midsection, almost like he's gonna hold his innards in. However, you succeeded with fear, which turns the action back to me.
Don't. You gonna kill me?
I can only hope. All right, the rogue traveler, with his right hand, grabs a hold of this log that's laying on the ground, and he reaches up, and with one last breath, charges at you, attempting to come down onto your right shoulder blade. I'm gonna make an attack roll.
Okay.
That's a critical success. Let's roll for damage on that. That's 11 points of damage.
Are you serious?
I am.
Okay. That's major, and I have 2 hit points left, so...
You got to mark 2 slots?
Yep.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Box deal. I'm afraid you're going to have to make a death move.
I don't want to. All right. What are they? What are the moves?
So you have 3 death moves that you can choose from. One is the Blaze of Glory.
Blaze of Glory. Your character embraces death and goes out in a blaze of glory. Take 1 action at the GM's discretion, which critically succeeds, then cross through the veil of death.
2 is Avoid Death.
Avoid death. Your character avoids death and faces the consequences. They temporarily drop unconscious, and then you work with the GM to describe how the situation worsens. Your character can't move or act while unconscious. They can't be targeted by an attack. And they return to consciousness when an ally clears 1 or more of their marked hit points, or when the party finishes a long rest. After your character falls unconscious, roll your hope die. If its value is equal to or under your character's level, they gain a scar.
And 3 is Risk It All.
Oh, man.
Risk it all. Roll your duality dice. If the hope die is higher, your character stays on their feet and clears an amount of hit points or stress equal to the value of the hope die. Divide the hope die value between hit points and stress, however you prefer. If the fear die is higher, your character crosses through the veil of death. If you critically succeed, your character stays up and clears all hit points and stress.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Todd.
And my name is Rich.
And today we're talking about the death mechanic in Daggerheart.
And you died. And you know what? That's okay.
And I didn't get a chance to take him when he died, but, well, I sort of did.
I will say, like, in this game, there's a lot of cool stuff you could do when you die.
I agree.
You don't just fall unconscious and then, oh, that's it.
Because what was interesting to me is that the death itself is not scripted by a set of rules.
Yeah.
There are rules, but there are options that you can choose to take, which is, you know, I think good in the end.
Yeah, just like the rest of Daggerheart, it's structured to give your character justice and make you feel like you have agency over this thing happening to them.
100%. I feel like when you get to choose your path, it's going to build the best thing for you in the narrative. Your role in the narrative is key. You should be able to decide how your character ends their life or chooses not to end their life.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful way to go out. All right, so we have 3 death mechanics that we can work with in the game. What do we got?
Number 1, we got Blaze of Glory. Blaze of Glory is badass, honestly. It's the way everybody wants to go. It's every vision every man has had in their entire life. It's, there's a bear attacking my family. I'm gonna wrestle the bear and then let my family get away. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's the hero's move. You're gonna die, but you're gonna work with your GM in order to sort of decide upon a critical success that you can have as a maneuver. Now, of course, we need to keep this realistic. You can't decide to die and then every single enemy on the battlefield is wiped out as a result. I'm sure you're as grandiose as you think you are, but let's keep it real. All right, what do we got for our second mechanic?
Second mechanic, we have the most boring, called Avoid Death. It basically, you lay there and you say, you can't hit me.
I like to think of this as the non-committal move. I don't want to die, and there's lots of reasons for this. Just because you choose Avoid Death doesn't mean you're boring. But you might want to ask yourself if you're boring. Anyway, in Avoid Death, we have a pretty stripped down mechanic. You avoid death. You will not die, but you are going to be unconscious. You cannot be hit.
You can't be targeted.
Correct.
I wish there was more explanation maybe as to why you can't be. I kind of hate that, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, but it does come with a consequence. You don't get off so easy. You are going to roll your hope die as a result of avoiding death. And if your hope die is lower than your character level, you're going to gain a scar. Now, a scar is a consequence that is likely mostly permanent, and it's going to be imposed by your GM. So your GM actually gets to have some agency here in your death.
I will say, the scar mechanic is probably the coolest part of this whole death move, because we love to see repercussions. Maybe your character will use this as motivation in the future to kind of get back, at who gave them a scar.
Yeah.
Even though it is a non-committal, one might say, pussy move. Can I say that?
You can
yeah,
say
sure.
that.
All right. It's a pussy move. Maybe your character's a pussy right now. And then you work that into the story to where, later on, he wants to, feel like less of a pussy.
Well, sure. Maybe you have a character that is terrified of death and wants to become, a more mature, braver warrior out there on the battlefield. Maybe your character looks up to another member of the party who has that bravery. And this is a moment for them to, in their gaining of a scar, have something to physically look back on and say, wait a minute, that is one more mark towards my eventual bravery. I'm going to own this one day.
All right, a crazy idea, because I'm going to say this. Imagine your character's backstory, right? Is that your character was part of an adventuring party, right? And they had this mission, all right, we need to finish this mission no matter what. Everybody else in the party chose Blaze of Glory. Your character chose Avoid Death.
Oh, that's hard.
And your character begins this next campaign with the guilt of having done that.
I love that. So you can already see just from 2 mechanics out of 3 how complicated this can get with your party's narrative and story. And so for the third and final mechanic, we have
Risk It All. In Risk It All, you're gambling, baby. What happens in Daggerheart stays in Daggerheart.
I love that. I love that. And if you think about it, in Blaze of Glory, you have agency over your death. In Avoid Death, you have agency over death. You are making the choices. But in Risk It All, you're allowing the fates to decide.
Yep. In Risk It All, you're going to roll your hope and fear dice. If the hope is higher, then you erase the amount of hit points and stress points equal to the number of hope you rolled. If fear is higher,
you cross over into the veil of death.
Of death.
I get to take you if that happens. Now, there's one more possibility, and that is if both of the dice tie, whether a 1 all the way up to 12, you have a critical success. You are on your feet, you have cleared all hit points, you have cleared all stress, and you're back in the game.
Yep, you're basically going Super Saiyan mode. You're basically going full berserk. You're running back into battle like you just snorted a line of cocaine and you're ready to take out the entire enemy team.
All right, blooper reel. So far today, Rich has gone with suicide bomber, snorting a line of cocaine,
And calling everyone pussy.
and calling everyone a pussy. What are we gonna do with this?
Woo! All right.
All right, so as you can see, you have control over your death in this game.
Yes, the best part of Daggerheart is that they respect you and the agency over your character to do your character justice. And the mechanics work as a springboard for your story and what feels right to you. It's not a shackle, it's a springboard.
Exactly. It's another tool in this game system that allows you to control the narrative and allow the narrative, honestly, to have control of itself to some degree. So there's a lot of ability in here for the ambiguity of what could happen to happen. And I love that about that.
I love it too, man. These mechanics are so fun, so interesting, and I can't wait to try them out.
Same here. All right, I'm Todd.
I'm Rich.
And we are signing off for Wither and Bloom, but that's Death Mechanics in Daggerheart. We will see you soon.
Yep.
Boxdale, those are the three options. What are you gonna take?
All right. I'm gonna go for the
Hey everybody, welcome to Wither and Bloom Studios' A Clockwork Silence. I am so excited to be involved in this mini-series and to tell you that it's going to be available as a PDF. You're going to be able to have this adventure as a module for your campaign, downloadable from witherandbloomstudios.com. We should have that together and ready for download by the end of this series, so keep an eye out during session 3 for that module. You'll be able to download it right here. Now, if I get my way and my goals all magically come true, I will also have this as a printed PDF that you'll be able to order for hard copy that I will mail to you. It's going to come complete with Daggerheart cards. I'm so thrilled about this. So, number one, here's to you. Thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for subscribing. It's been amazing, and I can't wait to see you back here. We're going to keep this going. We're going to have mini-series, and then we're going to have modules to go with them. Cheers. Let's get back to the show. All right, welcome back from the break. I thought we had 20 minutes there, and then I was informed that we only had like 13. So that was really fast. Anyway, I promised you a map. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get that map and bring it in, okay? So talk amongst yourselves. Let me know what's let me know what the plan is.
Is anybody else really nervous?
I'm slightly
I'm scared.
intrigued.
He's gonna kill us.
I'm quaking in my boots a little bit.
I'm
nervous.
Chat. I'm on front line. I got this. I'm big. I'm tanky.
I'm huge.
I'm huge.
Huge.
Get behind me.
Huge.
Get behind me.
All the blasters behind you just like...
No, yeah. Well, I'm
Use
tall,
me
but
as
I'm-
cover.
I'm tall, but I'm thin.
Says
is
the one
thing.
who hasn't really seen any of the movies.
Yeah. We just
that
went
was
over
blown
this.
up.
We just went over
That
this
was
before the
just
stream
blown
started.
Here it is.
It's fucked up. And it wasn't even you. man.
Go watch Terminator. Oh my God!
Oh boy.
All right. Now this would be a perfect time for me
Okay, hold on.
to drop this thing.
Okay.
No,
Oh
don't-
god.
don't- please
I'm
don't.
not. I'm not.
Oh god. Please don't help.
Oh God. You got this.
Oh, the mic is feeling
This is
it.
the reason why I didn't want to come in this way.
Yeah, that's what
You got
But I
it.
got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
got it.
Oh God, the sound.
The mic is feeling it. Tilt it just like that. Oh yeah, baby. Look at that shot.
Oh.
Scrumptious.
All right. Can we get a
Oh,
little
yeah.
couple camera action there? Now, what you see, let me just reposition a couple of things here. I keep going back and forth.
I love you.
Bum 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 bum. I mean, you are the most Godzilla-esque
the Godzilla
character here.
Eric over here.
Mecha Eric.
Eric, go num num.
Ericzilla.
Nom, nom.
Okay. So, you see a total of, as all of a sudden you become aware that Flocutus is sort of checking something out. You see Flocutus hone in.
Flo's tail goes straight up into the air, and a little spark directed at Sparky.
I see that as a sign. I know exactly what that means. You hear this whirring noise as some plates on Sparky's back pop open, and a small hidden compartment where a large mace rests is revealed, and I just grab the mace, twirl it, reach out, grab a small buckler shield off my side, and I'm ready to go.
All right.
Ooh.
Give me 1 second here. So here's what I want to do. First of all, in the order that you were traveling down the street, let's get our minis put onto
with
the
you?
battle map. Now, a couple of things. One, our players just got their minis. We had session 0 last week. We developed characters. I resin printed these as quickly as I could, but there has not been enough time to paint any of the minis. We will do the best we can on this. Some of the miniatures that are on the map, though, have been painted. I will say this. Addie, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
That structure that's right in front of you.
This one?
Yes. Could you pick that up by the base?
Yes.
Oh.
And hand it over to me, if you don't mind.
No. I got it.
It's made in 3 pieces. All right. So, here is that model. It's fantastic. This is the one that you can win if you join our Discord and join the giveaway. Also, the interior is now broken. Good one. But the interior is also completely filled out. So you've got interior walls, you've got a floor, there's a staircase inside with a fireplace. It is super cool. It stacks together with registration pins. It is beautiful. So, register in the Discord. We will send this to you if you win. We're going to be giving that away later.
Uh-oh.
And of course,
A phone call.
Tech interruption.
Should I put this back?
Yes, please.
Join the Discord and subscribe.
This way.
And subscribe.
Okay, so let me pull up a few stat blocks here, and we are going to go to town. So, are we on the board now?
I'm
No.
not.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
Who was? I think Flo was leading the pack then.
Yes.
Flo and Rook probably.
Yeah, with our instinct.
So,
So we're coming down the street.
I'm gonna put myself, I guess, somewhere like around this corner, maybe.
Then we work together.
Yeah.
Let's go over here.
Yeah, sure. I'm in there.
Ew, not right behind me.
That's where I'm always gonna be.
No, dude.
All right. I need a couple more minis on the map.
Ooh, watching
Wait,
that
stop
rotate is
turning.
fun.
Don't turn it. Sorry, I was just rotating.
Here. I would
Yeah,
put
you're
us
like.
up a little bit
Zip,
closer.
zap, zap.
You definitely would be in front of me slightly.
I would say
Let's get
I'll
some
probably
love
be,
for the
like,
display in the
here.
chat. Let's get some love.
It's working out well.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
All
We're
right.
on there. Let's give a little.
We're all there?
We are all there.
there.
Beautiful.
Gang's all here.
Right there.
All right, who wants to act? Remember, in Daggerheart, we don't have an initiative roll. We basically, you have come across them. Who wants to act?
So we see everyone here sees these creatures.
I think it's pretty evident, yeah, given Flocutus's sort of
You
tail.
just whipped a mace out of your.
Yeah. I'm going to. Let's see. I'm gonna do something weird. I shout out, "Get behind me!" And I'm going to. I want to move if I can. I don't know if there's like an established limit of what I can move, but I want to try and get up to this bench here, and I want to kick it into the direction of that creature there, because I don't have any ranged stuff.
Right.
So I'm just gonna try and punt this this bench full force into that creature there.
That's a dope
Okay,
spell.
so you're gonna do this as an attack, or are you doing
New
this sort of to
experience.
set up a barricade of defense?
Oh no,
or-
it's an attack.
It's an attack.
Bench.
Okay, why don't we? I'll have you make an attack roll.
Okay.
I will have you use either your agility or finesse. I'd probably agility or maybe strength if you decide to use strength.
I would love to use strength
Okay.
if possible.
Let's use strength.
Great. Perfect.
And that's the one that's directly in front of you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that I'm the most like parallel with right now.
Got it.
Okay. That is going to be a solid 12 with hope.
A 12 with hope. Okay, unfortunately, as you kick that bench and it flies up into the air, you don't quite make the proper contact with it. Maybe because this is not your weapon of choice. I don't know. But it does not make contact with this slinth that is in the street. But because you have hope, we can now continue combat on your side.
Do I gain a hope as well?
You do gain a hope, yes.
Perfect. That's great.
With that being said, I'm gonna kind of slide up right behind Sparky, my friend. And as I my back hits him, as I'm taking cover behind him, I say, "It was a great kick, buddy. It was a great kick."
Thanks.
And then I kind of, I'm going to spend a hope to cast Rain of Blades.
I have that.
Rain
one.
of Blades.
Yes, I can make a spellcast roll and conjure throwing blades that strike out at all targets within very close range. Would that be all of them?
In very close range? Very close range? No.
I don't think so.
Very close
I would
range is
probably
within 10
say
feet.
it's just the two back.
Just the two? That's fine. I'm okay
Well,
with
what's
that.
the distance of the spell?
It's very, very close range.
You
You'd
have
probably
They
have
might
to-
be out of range then.
You'd have to move up closer, I think, given where you
Yeah,
are.
how close are we?
Oh, I can actually, because of my Primal Origin Sorcerer, I can extend the spell or attack's reach by one range.
Okay, so that would put you at close range.
Okay.
So the ranges work in the following manner. There is melee combat range, which is obvious. We're familiar with that one. There is very close range, which is typically within 5 to 10 feet. Close range is 10 to 30 feet. Then we get to far. Far is going to be about 30 to 100. And then very far is typically beyond 100. And then out of range would be something that might be further than that.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So with close range, how many would I be able to hit?
Within close range. So we're talking close range would be 10 to 30 feet. That's going to be, typically we measure that with the distance of, say, a pencil, right? So if you want to take this pencil or a pen that you have and just see, you might be able to see
We're seeing.
whether or not you can get to any of them. That's going to clarify things a little bit for you.
That looks like a no.
So
So
you can move
instead,
up.
could I
You can move.
could I move
Yeah, you can move
over
and
here?
yeah.
I'm gonna move with cover over here. I don't know if cover is a thing in Daggerheart. And I'm gonna hit both of them, and I'm not gonna modify it that way because I don't need to now that I'm closer. I think.
Yep. Okay.
So with that being said, I do my stress. No, I mark a hope to do this.
So you use a hope.
I use a hope to make a spellcast roll.
Okay.
A spellcast roll.
Is an attack roll with your spellcast modifier.
Okay. Just so I'm clear, my spellcast modifier is just my instinct. What would it be? Does anybody?
It should tell you different spellcast abilities use different ones.
It's you are an instinct spellcaster, so it's your spellcast. It's your +3.
Okay. All right.
Witcher OL is like punt that bench.
I tried it. Didn't work out the way I wanted
awesome.
it to.
Yeah, that's not good.
Should we take that bench off the map?
Why don't we? I think that should come off in a minute.
Totally.
That's gonna be an 8 with fear.
An 8 with fear.
What is wrong with you?
Thank you, Fear. Unfortunately, that does not make... That's not a successful spell cast.
And that's on me, guys. That's on me. I'm sorry about that one. That's on me.
Two
So
whiffs.
with that, as the fear turns the action back to me, I am going to, first of all, the one that is closest, and without a pointer, this is going to be a little bit difficult, but the one that is closest to the houses on your left there, somewhere
The one
between
that's over here?
somewhere between the workshop and the forge.
Yeah.
That one there is going to all of a sudden raises up its sort of this weapon that it's carrying, and you see this arcane blue flash rip through the backpack on it, and it's like almost this recoil as this rat-like, poor-postured figure just like as this like beam of light comes flying out of that, and it is going to be probably hitting our large clank Sparky there.
Hi.
Tank do it, tank do.
Let's see. Let me pick a doozy.
Yeah,
Let me
right?
pick a doozy.
Not all of them.
I asked.
And that is going to be a
Which
17.
means there's more.
To hit?
Yes.
Well, seeing as my evasion is 8, yeah, that absolutely hits.
Okay. So that's going to hit, and that is going to do... Should have had these dice out to start, but I did not. So that's okay. We will get there. Let's see. Well, that's not very good. That's going to be 13 points of magic damage. Now, do you know how the damage thresholds work?
Yes.
Okay.
And 13 points of magic is not enough to pass my first threshold, so that's only going to take 1 hit point, so I'm just going to tank that.
Okay. So you're taking 1 hit point for that. Then...
Oh, you're going to go.
I'm going to spend a fear
yeah,
to activate the guy on the other side of the street, who also, you see the same exact thing happen. An arcane blue energy field sort of builds up around the backpack. It fires out another bolt, and right in front of him, I think I see Flocutus standing there. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that is going to be aimed at you. And that's going to be a natural 1 for a total of 4.
I evade that.
Okay.
Quite easily.
So that does not hit you. That being said, how am I doing on fear? Let's see. I think my fear total right now is currently 7. Accurately. There. I'm going to spend another one to activate one of the ones in the back, who is going to move forward.
Do you want me to move him?
Yeah, can you bring him up? Because he's a little out of range. Bring him up in line with the rest of them.
The one on my left or right?
The one on your right.
Okay.
Bring him up to the middle of the other two, standing in the middle of the street.
Here?
Yeah.
Sweet.
And he's also, since he watched his other sort of, his other teammate miss Flocutus, we're going to fire off another shot at Flo. I need a better die here, though.
No.
Switching out the dice. Switching out the dice. Here we go. Not much better. 11.
That is my evasion. So
Meets it, beats it.
meets it beats, yeah.
All right.
Goodbye, Flo.
So
Question.
you sort of get this arc of blue energy comes in, racks your body.
Question.
Yes.
Would you say that Flo is within very close range of Sparky right now?
100%.
I would love if I could use an ability called I Am Your Shield, and I'm going to mark a stress to stand in the way of that attack and take the damage instead.
What?
Whoa.
That's amazing. Do it.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
All right, so all of a sudden, as this arc of blue light comes pummeling at you, this plasma-filled beam, all of a sudden you see Sparky just step in front of you, absorbing the blow for a total of 20 points of magic damage.
I'm going to mark 2 armor slots to reduce that damage to none.
Do you have the ability to mark 2?
Yes. When I use I Am Your Shield, I can mark any number of armor slots.
Damn.
So I'm going to mark 2 as I take the buckler shield and pimp smack the bolt of light energy out of the way.
Pimp smacked bolt of energy. For those of you watching at home, this is the moment when the GM says, we got to bring more. We got to bring more.
No, this is the first hit.
I know. First hit.
Give it a break.
Last but not least, I'm going to activate the last of them. Let's bring the fourth one up into the fold.
Got you.
Right up in that line,
Around
kind of.
there.
Yeah, that
the creature
sounds.
that's
That
about to
looks
attack
good.
you.
That looks good to me. I like that.
Sweet.
He's going to attempt to fire one right past. He sees you jump in front of. First of all, did we get Sparky put in front of Flocutus? Perfect. There we go. So that's going to open a gap up, and he sees that Valeth is back there, and he's going to sneak a shot past there, and that is going to be an 11.
Oh, it meets. Damn.
All
Yeah,
right.
stop rolling these
can't
11s.
Valeth can't sing.
So
Yet.
11
Yet.
coming in strong, and that is going to be 10 points of magic damage.
Doesn't meet my minor threshold.
It doesn't meet your.
The minor.
So that means it's going to do.
It is hit point slot.
It is.
Oh,
minor.
it is minor.
It is
Because then
minor.
13's the next. So
Yes,
yeah,
so-
it's
Yeah.
minor.
Okay, so minor. So that's 1.
1.
Yep. And I'm going to end what I'm doing right
Finally.
there.
Cool. Don't forget, Todd, I am hiding around that corner. I don't know if you saw me.
Valeth? Go on, do this.
I was just going to say, you took a hide.
No, I didn't. I'm just around the corner.
You're just around the corner. Okay.
Yeah. In like reaction to that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, she gets hit a little bit, and this catches her off guard. I'm gonna mark a stress, and as I mark a stress, you can kind of see Fig ruffle those feathers a little bit,
Right.
and my eyes kind of like glisten over, and now I can see through Fig.
Okay.
Dope.
So your eyes kind of get a film.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So what is Fig going to do? You can.
Fig
You can
now.
carry forward with this.
Yeah, let me turn this really quickly so I can see what I'm doing. Where am I? Okay. So Fig kind of takes flight a little bit to give me a little bit more of an aerial view of what's going on. Not too high, but just enough over, like, you know, a couple heads high. And kind of stays with our group, but allows me to see the slits?
Slint.
Slints?
Slits. Yes.
Them.
The slits.
And I'm gonna move. Now, I have a question, just because I haven't played in a long time. Is there, and I know Addie may have asked, is there a maximum on how much you can move?
So what we try to do is stay appropriately within
Yeah.
the fiction. So even if you had to move a distance that seemed like it was reasonable,
Yeah.
we would just let that happen. If it was an unreasonable distance, we might
Okay.
decide for an agility roll
Got
or
it.
something to see if you can pull that off. But
Okay.
right now, I think we're all within a range that you can do what you got to do.
Okay. I'm gonna move myself up a little bit of a ways, kind of there. I still don't think I'm gonna be able to do anything when I get there. Okay, pause. Sorry. Before I do that, I am still gonna move, but right before I move, as one of my class features, I'm gonna make a minor illusion, or attempt to, so I have to make a spellcast roll.
Okay. Oops. Bye, music.
Bye, music.
Right as I
Bye,
rolled,
Tim.
that was
Yeah,
a-
that
that,
was-
that was
yeah.
like
That was pretty intense.
Silence.
so I got an 11 with hope.
Okay.
And it was a 10. So on a success, I create a minor visual illusion no larger than myself.
And what are you trying to
Myself.
Illusion.
But just like figure.
Okay.
Not like detailed me, but just like figure me
Okay.
there. And then I'm going to move.
Okay, so you leave a visage of
Yeah.
yourself there
Yeah.
as you
And
move
I'm-
out of the way.
yeah.
Gotcha.
That's cool.
And she's going to be like there. Okay.
Struggling through the new music system I've decided to use. It's okay.
I'm gonna get that bench out of there.
Yeah.
Bench.
Stand
gone.
by
Kick that
for
bench.
bench
Kick
removal.
that bench.
Stand by for some kind of good combat music too. I'm working
Bench
on
was
that.
kicked.
That bench.
Farewell, bench. I am so
what-
sorry.
Is there a relative distance to these slants?
I'm gonna say we're probably
30.
in that 30 range right
Is
now.
that far?
That
That's
is on.
close.
That's on the edge of close.
Yeah.
Between
To-
close and far.
Close and far.
Fuck him up.
Okay.
Because for my stuff, I need to get either within melee or very close range for any of my spells.
I'm gonna try and push up soon.
Push-ups.
Well, no, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna go for it.
I'm gonna. Flo's gonna take a step back
Okay.
to put himself into far range. And I'm going to make a spellcast roll to unleash chaos.
Okay.
Nice.
Against the target with far range. So I'm going to spend... So there's 3 tokens on this spell. And I'm going to spend 2 of these. Which, if it's a hit, then I'll roll 2 d10s.
Okay. You have to spend them before you know whether or not it's a hit, correct?
I believe so. Spend any number of tokens to channel raw energy from within yourself to unleash against them. So yeah, in order to make the spellcast roll, I have to spend them. So
got it.
Here goes the spellcast roll. And I'm going to say the slint that is kind of in the center.
In the center?
right.
Okay. Tell me I got a fear. Give me that fear.
12 with hope.
A 12 with hope.
Oh,
That's good.
Unfortunately, the attack misses.
Okay.
but it's a hope, so it stays with
Also-
us.
But it
So
does.
you gain
You
a
can
hope.
mark a hope.
No, it
You
doesn't.
gain a
Oh
hope.
wait, no, the fail goes to you.
Oh, it was a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get a hope.
But I get a hope.
Yes.
Mark a hope.
Really quick, Todd, I forgot to mention with that minor illusion, it says the illusion is convincing to anybody at close range or farther.
Perfect. Perfect. So if it gets to very close range,
Yeah.
we have a problem.
Yeah.
Good enough. All right. So, visage intact. This attack of yours, unleashing chaos, goes awry and misses, and that one center right is actually going to power up that weapon and fire that off at you. And I just lost the
Karma's a bitch.
D12.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
Losing dice.
Didn't like that D12 anyway. That's going to be a 13.
Son of a bitch.
And I just lost the D20. I'm throwing dice all over the place.
Yeah,
Who
maybe
is
you
it
should throw
trying
them
to-
out because
Yeah.
what the heck?
Yeah, you think I
Who
should
is it?
chuck him?
Who's it trying to hit?
Me.
Oh, balls.
Locutus.
Balls.
And that is going to do 10 points of magic damage.
Okay, so that's major, but I'm going to use my spell Rune Ward. I have a deeply personal trinket that can be infused with protective magic and held as a ward by myself or an ally. So from my center belt, I'm going to pull out a small, this big-ish, round lens and hold it up, and I can spend a hope to reduce incoming damage by 1d8.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend that hope.
Currently at 10.
Currently at 10. Come on. Reduced by 7.
Wow, so 3. So that's definitely going to put you at minor.
That's minor. So now I just hit 1 mark, right?
Okay, yeah, mark 1 hit point.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
I'm going to spend a fear,
I'll wait for a minute.
and the one that's in the center is actually going to sheathe his weapon.
Ooh.
And he's going to race up to who's closest right now. I
Oh
can't
my
see on the map.
God.
It's
It would either be
probably me.
Technically,
it's
Rich
split.
is the closest. Here. let
Where
me
But
show
you're
you.
sort of around the corner
Oh,
still,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Rich is kind of in the corner.
I
Sorry.
see.
I think, honestly, it might be Sparky's.
Valeth or Sparky?
It's probably going to be either one of us. It looks like I'm a little further up, but
I kind of tucked
We're-
myself with the barrels a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's up to you.
yeah.
Can you see the two of
I
us?
can.
Roll
So
for that shit.
I'm going to say that the one that's center left is going to move straight up.
This guy?
Yep. It's going to move straight up, and since it does see, it sees Valeth as a sort of visage right now, so it's going to come towards you,
Perfect.
Sparky, and
You're
it's going
excited.
to, as it sheathes its weapon, it's sort of like, it opens up its hands, and it has these augmented brass claws that look like these
damn.
very large brass razor blades, and it's kind of like, and it's like, and it strikes at you with those. So it's going to make an attack roll with those. That is going to be horrible. A 7.
That misses.
Damn.
Am I allowed to retaliate?
No, because I'm still on. I'm spending another fear. And
He's gonna
because
get you one way or another.
this has relentless too, so it's able to attack again. So it's going to roll one more time and take a second swipe with that, and that's going to be a 16 to hit.
Yeah.
There we go.
That
That's
is
gonna do
going
it.
To
That's gonna
be
do it. That's gonna hurt.
That's going to be 15 points of physical damage.
I am going to mark an armor to reduce that, because that's just in my major. So I'm going to reduce that to minor with 1 armor slot.
Okay. Okay. I will call it there. Who's got the floor?
All right, so that one moved up some. I think that's within a range that I can get to. I think that's right around that 30 mark-ish, 25-ish. What do you?
It looks like it.
What do you
Can
think?
you just, for me,
Where's
point
that
to
pencil?
where you are?
I am right here.
Okay, good.
Where's that pencil? I mean, I have a pen.
Pen
Oh,
works.
I have.
I mean, we're in there. We're in there.
Yeah, I think that works.
We're in. Okay, so I'm gonna come running in. We're going right up to this guy with this weird coppery hands. Where do we want to put the? We want to spin it back around over there.
Wherever you want.
Anyway, I'm gonna come running in. As I run in, I unsheath 2 daggers from my belt,
I can move you in.
and
He got moved in.
yeah, I moved in. I moved in before. And I'm going to slash at this guy that's in front of me.
All right. Nice.
So,
Go for it.
Okay, now, rules lawyer here. If I have a primary and a secondary weapon,
Bless you.
Yes.
Thank you.
do I make 2 separate rolls to hit with those? Because there's on my secondary weapon, it's a small dagger, and it says paired. And I get +2 to my primary weapon damage to targets.
So I would say that I believe not, because
So it's
that
just
could
one hit,
potentially
right?
instigate 2 hope or 2 fear.
Okay,
So I think it gets
true.
packaged
So I
into
think it's
1
just okay. Well, that's how we'll play it for now.
for now.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna attack. That is off the board.
Same
It was the same number.
Oh my god.
Hopefully it was
All
a
right.
good number for you.
It's a good number. It's. I mean, we're at 17 plus 3, 20.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
hit.
20 with hope. No, that's hope. Yep. Sorry.
Now I would add the damage of both of those weapons.
Yes. So now, on a successful attack, I am going to mark a stress to have this adversary make a reaction roll with the difficulty equal to 12.
Hit it.
Hit it.
13.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's fine.
Fat
That's
hell.
fine. That's fine. So that doesn't take effect. We got his. We got this. We got this. And first strike, I deal double damage.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
16 plus 10, 26, 27, 29 points of physical damage.
29 points
Wow.
is severe, so I'm gonna mark 3.
Yeah.
Doubled.
Yeah, that was the. Oh wait, double damage.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, double. So what did I say?
23.
23.
So 46.
So double that, 46.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Dude.
23 is my threshold.
Hold
I think
on,
you said
sorry.
more than that. Add it up.
Was it
10.
29, I thought, right?
Yeah,
It's
I heard
10
29.
plus 16,
26.
26, 27, 29, doubled.
Holy crap.
Holy crap.
So
58.
Okay, so that would be 4 because we're going to be playing with massive damage. Forget
I come in with 2 daggers and I slash the
crazy.
shit out of this guy.
That's crazy. Who
Gotcha.
are you?
I'm an assassin.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
you are.
Alright, so as that happens, and you crack this thing for 4 hit points and hit this with this massive attack with 2 blades, you notice that one of the other slints that's nearest, that's the one that's up with everybody, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, it's the one right up.
You know what?
yeah.
You succeeded, so I'm not going to take over here. You keep
Okay.
going. My
All right.
bad. Yeah.
I hop in here.
Can I spin just to see?
So with me seeing Corin do this, I've been sitting around the corner for a second after my failure, and I kind of like open up my jacket, and I kind of just like do it, and then this shadow from around the far building there runs out to this guy right here in the middle of of the lane.
Uh-huh.
He runs out to him and just kind of shoves his arms. They turn into like these swords, and he just shoves them right through him and attempts to attack him. I am going to spend a hope to use my friends on the other side experience.
Okay. That's going to add a +2 to your roll.
+2. And yeah, this is it. This is the moment. I'm not going to fuck it up again. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be a hope. 15 with hope.
15 with hope does hit.
Yes! Alright, that's going to do...
Point to which one you're on again, please, if you don't mind.
That's the one right in the center of the lane.
Okay, got it.
And I am going to also mark a stress to hit an additional target within range. So he runs up behind that guy doing that, right? And then kind of like vaults over him and does the exact same thing to the one right in front of Garrett.
Okay.
And it's the same hit. It's the same 15.
So what's the damage?
I'm going to roll that now. One second, we're... Okay, that's going to be 11 points of damage, magic damage, to each of them.
Okay, so that's just breaking through my major. So the one that's nearest to Garrett, as this figure comes up and shoves its hands through it, all of a sudden wrenches backward, twisting. You see its augmented headgear sort of spin off of its head. It drops to the ground, its backpack sort of cracking on the ground. You see some arcane light begin to sort of bleed out of that as he hits the ground, twitching. And you do manage to kill number 2.
First kill!
Can we get him off the board?
First kill! This guy is gone.
All right.
Down.
Who is this? Okay.
With that being said, as this body kind of collapses in front of Garrett, for a second, Garrett sees this tall, shadowy figure. Might have a hat on.
Hat man.
With this, like, wrenched, large, vicious smile and red glowing eyes, and then just disappears. You saw it for a second.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Action's still on you guys. I saw that in the chat, so why don't you
Yes.
jump in with that real quick?
So, Spiely clarified the rules after making that roll that felt very powerful.
Yeah, I was like, holy cow.
So, yeah, I feel bad about that. I don't know if we want to redact that. We're just going to let it go.
Not
But
gonna
from
do it.
here on out, I don't roll damage dice for the secondary weapon. It only adds that ability to the first
Okay.
dagger, so it's adding a plus damage to my initial dagger, because that's like rolling at this level 4d8 is insane. I would use the d8 for the secondary dagger if I had swapped to just use that one. So I can use it flavored with the 2 daggers. It just uses the effect that it has.
And I think that's most important to remember about narrative, right?
Yeah.
And how you sort of wield the 2 daggers.
So,
yeah.
Thanks for that, Spiely.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
was
Spiely.
starting to look it up. After doing it, it just felt... So,
Well,
I'm just going to roll with it, but...
Roll with it. Valeth, you got something?
We're learning here.
Can I pop in here?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna get her to move. I don't want to hit my mic. With him falling, Valeth is gonna get to this guy in melee range with him. And I'm gonna make a spell cast roll. First, after the falling of the first victim, those that are kind of around Valeth and that can see her can kind of see her color of her body start to kind of get darker.
Ooh.
As an Inferni, your body color can kind of change when you're experiencing intense emotions.
Yeah.
So her skin tone gets a little bit darker.
Nice.
And she makes her way up to this guy, And from her hands, you can see this orange and yellow, red kind of start to build up in her hands as I make the spellcast roll of Cinder Grasp.
Ooh.
Which, let me get a hope
Fire,
and a
fire.
fear here. Indubitably. Okay, that is going to be plus... Okay, so it's a 15, unfortunately with fear.
Okay, 15 is going to hit. 15 is going to hit.
Fantastic, great. So it hits, also fantastic and great. That's gonna do 2d8 plus 2. They're not vulnerable, correct? They're just there.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Just making sure. God dang, I'm doing awful. It's only 9 points
Okay.
of damage, and they're instantly on fire.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so that is minor, so I'm going to mark 1. Which one was that on again?
It was to this one that's right by the one building.
the one all the way closest to you right now?
That one over there.
The one over there.
Yep.
Got it.
And hold on one second. Okay, and oh my god, actually strike that. I read the wrong damage. I was reading for a different spell.
Unbelievable.
Sorry, roll
good.
it back. It's actually a d20, not 2 d8s. Stand by.
Okay.
That's 12. So that's 15.
15.
Yes.
Okay, much
That's,
better.
Yeah, 15 points.
That's going to put
And
us
then
into major.
when they act while on fire, they must take 2d6.
If they act while on fire, they have to take
Yes.
2d6?
And if they are still on fire at the end of their action.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So the condition is they're on fire,
They're on
correct?
fire.
All right,
Yep.
so I took my fear. Things are going to move to me.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, I had the
first
wrong
thing this
spell.
thing is going to do is it's going, in the response to being on fire, it immediately sheathes its weapon. It puts it in. And then with the hand that it has out, where you saw on the other adversary, Slinth, you saw these brass claws. This one comes up to you and it begins to put its palm out, almost like it's going to hit you like this. But you notice this cylindrical hole right in the palm of the hand. And you almost see a glint of something metal in there, right? And it comes up and it attempts to put its palm right on your head.
Oh!
Right? So it puts its palm up to your head.
This is ableist.
And then you hear this and this projectile, almost like a bolt gun, comes out. And it's going to attempt
So fucked up.
Oh my god!
So
Whoa.
that Slint's got to take 2d6 damage.
I know.
Okay.
That's only going to be an 8.
Miss!
So that's
I
going to
evade.
miss. Oh, would you say 2d8 or 2d6?
It's 2d6.
2d6 fire damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
the
rolling it or
magic
am I
damage.
rolling it?
Fire distracts.
I guess it's you should roll it.
Okay, I can do
That's
that for you.
crazy.
That's awesome.
5.
5?
Yeah.
All right, so 5 is minor. I'm going to mark that, and then I'm going to spend a fear to remove the on fire condition. And spend another fear because they have
Spend them.
relentless.
Spend them.
Pussy.
Spend them.
Lame.
And he's going to attempt the bolt gun again.
Oh my god.
That's brutal.
This is ableist, actually.
It would be
Oh
able
my
not
god.
to hit you again.
What are you, invincible?
yeah, yeah.
Nat 1.
Disability pride, baby.
All right, with that, I'm going to back off.
Yeah, you should.
All right.
I think you should.
I'm backing off.
I kind of laugh a little bit.
Okay.
This is funny to her.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Get in there, Fluky.
Who wants to go? Who wants to go? I'm having a really difficult time here, and I don't like it.
I'm gonna step. Well, I'm gonna stay
Did
where
you
I
actually
am.
move back? Or are you just
no,
stopping?
I'm
Okay,
just saying I'm
okay.
stepping
Got it.
back.
And I'm gonna go again to unleash chaos on that little group of 2 Slinths.
Yes, the group of 2.
I'll say I'll go to the one on the left.
All the way to the left?
The one that's in the middle of those 3 left.
Okay, got it.
That is a 19.
A 19 will definitely hit.
Awesome. I like that. And that was with hope.
Very nice.
Ooh.
Take a
Ooh,
hope. Go ahead,
with
Mark.
hope.
Don't forget to mark your hopes when you roll with hope.
Yeah, baby.
All right, so that was 1d10's worth of damage. And that is 4 points.
4 points?
Yeah.
So that's minor.
Womp womp.
Still good though.
Still on you guys.
Unleash Chaos. Oh, and I'm going to mark a stress to replenish Unleash Chaos.
Hell yeah. I have a couple things that I want to do.
Okay.
I saw that craziness happen with Valeth, and I did not like that. So you see Sparky, you watch as some of the little vents all across their body start to kind of leak this bluish steam as their eyes glow brightly, and their arms flat out extend like pistons, an extra almost foot. And they like eerily mechanically turn their head towards that slinth and out loud say, "Transition matrix linked. Time to die." And I am going to activate Unstoppable. So, Unstoppable, I gain the following benefits. I reduce the severity of physical damage by 1 threshold whenever I take it. Add the current value of my Unstoppable D4 to damage rolls, and I cannot be restrained or vulnerable. I would also love to use my frontline tank ability to spend 3 hope and clear 2 armor slots.
Okay.
As I kind of undergo this transformation into full offense mode.
Oh my god.
And I am going to tear ass over to this slink
Tear ass.
and
As opposed
whack
to
it
ripping.
over the head with my big mace.
We should call this Sparky Rage.
Oh, pretty much. I'm gonna roll a hit.
Sparky Rage.
I don't know if that's gonna do it.
No.
Because that's an 11 with fear.
That is not going to do it.
No.
Unfortunately, but I
it's gonna
did
turn it over.
love the description. Was just gorgeous.
Damn.
All right, with that, you're going to see a couple of things happen. First of all, the first activated one is going to be that one that's sort of in the middle of the 3, but over to one side, is actually going to scurry across the street to the one that was on fire momentarily.
Great.
And it's going to mark a stress to clear 1 hit point from the one that was marked.
Loser.
I don't like that. I don't like that at
They
all.
have a passive. They have a passive feature called Tactical Preservation.
Ew.
They have 2 versions of this. That first one allows them to spend a stress to clear the hit point of a coworker. Why can't I think of the word I want to think of here?
Coworker. Ally?
An ally. Thank you.
Coworker.
Can you tell I don't want to go back to work? They're coworkers. All right. So that being said, that can only be done. That's done within limitations, but it does do that. The second thing, since that I'm going to call that an action, right? Sure. I'm going to spend a fear, and this group turns away from you and takes off down the street.
In response to that, I'm going to jump out from the side, and I'm gonna kind of pull up on their shadows, and then like take my second hand as I have like a grip on their leashes, and just kind of like yank it back. And I'm gonna cast Shadow Bind.
So, I'll let you do it.
Yeah.
But it is dark, so I'm not sure how much in the way they have of shadow at this point, but go ahead.
Well, any
There's some
shadows.
ambient light being cast from lanterns and things, so I'll assume you could see some shadow there.
Okay. I need to make a spellcast roll. And I'm gonna use a hope again because I don't want this to fail.
Yeah, you need better eraser, bro.
I know. Come on, baby, come on. Okay, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not doing a voice.
Spend that hope.
That's gonna be a
Get that hope.
15 with hope.
15 with hope will hit.
That's gonna hit all of them and restrain all of them.
It restrains all of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Plans foiled.
Let's kill them all.
Grab him, guys!
Can we add? Can somebody add?
Where
Can
are
I
you
add?
going?
It was with fear.
It was
No,
a
with
hope.
hope.
Yeah.
Mark your hope. Make sure.
Yeah,
you
I
mark your
got
hope.
it.
Okay.
Somebody hit a tag team move
So
on
it
these
was
restrained.
success with hope. It's still on you guys.
They're vulnerable. Whatever that means.
So vulnerable basically means that you have advantage on rolls against them, but they can still act.
Can I try and hit the one that went to aid the other one?
Yes, you can.
All right. I see him come up, and I'm just gonna whip the mace around. All right.
Yeah, whip that moose.
With advantage.
Yeah.
15 with fear.
15 with
Jesus
fear.
Christ.
It does hit.
All right. So
Thank you for the fear.
this is where I'm good at doing damage. Okay, so I'm gonna be rolling. I'm just gonna speak it out loud so I understand the processes of my own character. 2d8 for my mace, plus 1, plus another 1 from Unstoppable. With Body Basher, I gain a bonus to the roll equal to my strength, so it's another plus 2. And if I roll a 1 or a 2 on the die, I can re-roll them with not good enough.
So let me just pause you for 1 second. When you have pluses like that, it's good to keep tokens
Yes.
at your right.
I have tokens.
So add 4 tokens to your roll. Each time you say a plus, throw a token in there. And this way you have the counters that help you remember what to add to your roll.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a good idea.
And that is a 2. I'm going to re-roll that 2.
Yeah,
Huge.
huge benefit.
Huge.
All right, so that is going to be 15 points of physical damage.
Okay.
I'm going to increase my unstoppable die as per the ability. Yeah, takes that big thwack across the head.
Okay, so as you come down and hit this thing across the head, the first thing you notice is that this augmented piece of headgear shatters. One of the glass eyes that covers this rat person's eye just completely explodes out. You notice that at that moment the eye roll back in the head as this thing just kind of like collapses to the ground, face first into the ground, backpack falling off. You've eliminated him.
Yeah.
That's
Sparky kind of like looks at the other one that's right there and just goes, "Is that what fear feels like?"
And in response to that fear,
He's gonna go, nope.
they're going to turn and run. And so they're going to take full out into the shadows. They kind of like scurry away and begin to disappear into the streets.
Does that get rid of their restraint?
Does that get rid of their restraint? I'm going to spend a fear. Just so I'm going to back up for a second. I'm going to spend a fear. I'll remove the restraint condition, and they're gone. They run. Now you can attempt to pursue if you'd like to. I'll leave that up to you, but that's going to be my move.
Nice job, Sparky.
Those just wrapping my head around it. Those were the only 2 that were really hit, right?
The 2 that died?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them got hit pretty heavy by Valeth, but had a hit point restore or a hit point cleared.
Go good.
How far have they made it?
Oh my god.
They're starting to get into far range, right?
Okay. I'm gonna come up. I'm back a little bit.
Yep.
So I'm gonna kind of run up the alley a little, and as I'm running, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. As I'm running, I'm going to sheath the daggers, and I'm gonna start to kind of just whip up in my hand a little bit, start mumbling, a phrase. And I'm going in front of me, or I'm going to say a distance in front of me, you're going to see this shadowy figure that looks like me come up from the ground.
Whoa.
And is going to pursue the one that is damaged and hurt.
Okay.
And I'm going to attempt to attack it.
With this shadow that comes
With the
up
shadow
out.
that comes
wow.
up
Okay,
out
so
of
what
the...
is that? Can I just ask what that is?
I am casting Midnight Spirit. I spend a hope to summon a humanoid-sized spirit that can move or carry things for you until your next rest. You can also send it to attack an adversary. When you do, make a spellcast roll against the target within very far range. On a success, I move into melee range, and I attack it with D6 equal to your spellcast rate, and deal that much magic damage.
Fantastic.
So-
Let's see it happen.
This shadowy ghost of a spirit. Anyway,
On that note,
so
That's not good.
spellcast roll, it's an 18 with fear.
An 18 with fear. Well, an
18
18 will
with fear,
succeed. An 18
and
will hit.
we will roll.
I'm tired of this fear.
Sorry.
Well, that's too damn bad.
I would have sent Fig.
It's pretty decent.
Okay, one second.
We got 15 points of magical damage.
15 points of magical damage is major.
Here.
And it does have a pretty solid impact on this thing. You sort of see it wobble as it's disappearing into the night away from you. But it gets back up. And it continues to go. Now, I gained that fear. So it's going to turn in its run. And it's going to draw... How close is this thing to you? Or how
So-
the shadow just attacks and goes, right?
The shadow
Disappeared.
it disappears on an attack.
Right.
So it's spent its energy.
Okay.
So that the shadow had made it to him.
Right. And
'Cause
what was,
it was
what was the distance on that?
That was up to very far.
Up to very
so,
far.
yeah.
Okay.
This
This thing's just gonna turn around and look at you, and it's gonna unsheathe this thing, and it's just gonna like you see this in the shadows. You just see this blue glow appear, and then you see this very, very focused beam, just almost like a pinpoint that's growing in size as it comes at you.
Yeah.
And he's gonna unleash one last attack on you, and that is gonna be a 19.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it's gonna hit pretty much anyone.
That's hitting you.
Yeah, it hits me.
That's gonna hit anyone. That's gonna be 14 points of magic damage.
I'll spend one to reduce it. I'll spend one armor slot to reduce it to mana.
And with that,
I did not say slot.
they start. So you said something that you were gonna send.
Yes. As soon as I didn't want to like interrupt, but as soon as they would have fled, I would have done one of these and sent Fig with them.
So Fig's following them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, just out of curiosity, your sight through Fig has what kind of range?
We didn't quite discuss that.
Oh, we haven't established that.
No.
Maybe we should do that.
We should probably do that.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think? Like.
I don't think it would be an indefinite amount of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The farthest is very far, then, right?
Yeah, very far would be, more than 100. Very far. I don't know.
Oh wait, I have it written down.
Great. Give it to me.
Stand by. So very far is anything longer than that length of paper.
Right.
So in terms of like visualization, so it's a wide range.
Right, but then there's also out of range,
yeah.
which that's kind of what we have to determine
Yeah.
here, right? So I would say that eventually,
It's like bad like TV signal once it gets to a certain
I have an idea.
point.
Yeah, let's turn this to
Yeah.
the narrative, right?
Yeah.
Because what you see, because now I'm assuming you're sort of clocking this.
Yeah.
You're letting the, Fig is watching what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see these two shadowy rats limping, obviously injured, running into the night. The one that just fired off at Corin sheathes his weapon again, the bird flying behind them. And then all of a sudden you see one of them reach down onto the ground and rip up what appears to be a sewer grate in the ground. And the two of them go down and in, and they
Yeah.
begin to pull it down.
Fig wouldn't follow.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, no, Fig wouldn't follow. Fig,
Yeah, okay, so they're gone.
okay, but I saw where that took place.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
All right.
Cool beans.
So,
Good job, team.
I'm pretty sure, Rich, that you won the dispatching the first enemy. Is that correct?
That was me. Yes.
So, did anybody have you for that?
No. Nobody believed in me.
Yeah, you
Nobody believed in me. Y'all thought I was gonna die first. And I didn't even get hit.
There's still time.
I didn't even get hit.
There's still time.
Wow.
There is still time.
Don't worry, buddy. We'll get you.
All right, so
nobody
you
was
have
afraid.
encountered the Slint for the first time. And interesting.
Sparky is immediately, kind of, as the dust settles, comes out of Unstoppable, or as I like to call it, the Overcharge, and just this deluge of blue steam comes out like a cloud. The arms retract, and they kind of return to their almost meek stance at 9 feet tall. And immediately is going over to both Valeth and Flo. Are you all right? Were you hurt? Were you hit by anything? What can I do?
Valeth is kind of standing there with her arm out, just waiting. She's not saying a word, she's waiting.
Hello? Hello?
Where did the bird go?
Hello?
And the bird.
I'm not sure how far out the Fig.
Yeah, you can absolutely narrate this if you want to.
After a couple
Hello?
of seconds, Fig lands. Valeth kind of goes into a little pouch on her like bodysuit and pulls out a nut and feeds it to Fig. I'm okay.
You are not hurt?
Oh, a little bit, but it's okay.
Oh,
I saw where they went.
where did they go?
This way. I don't know. I can have Fig show you.
Very well. Is anybody hurt? Is everyone okay?
I'm gonna kneel down over the rat that I killed, and while they're talking and whatnot, I'm just gonna kind of like roll him over on his back. I'm gonna place both of my hands over his ears, and then this sort of like fungus, sporous nature seems to like extend from the palms of my hands where runes are carved, and it's going to go into the ear and latch itself to the rat's brain. And I'm going to use the fungal ability of Death Connection.
Okay,
While
last
touching
of
a
this.
corpse that died recently, you can mark a stress to extract one memory from the corpse related to a specific emotion or sensation of my choice.
That's really cool.
Okay.
Detective mode.
Yeah. So what would you choose there?
So I've been thinking about this for the past 10 minutes. I'm gonna go with satisfaction.
Oh.
You're going to go with satisfaction as
Yeah.
the emotion that you would like to base this extraction on?
Yes.
Good God.
Hoping in
Yeah.
hopes that it's a satisfaction of taking Aurora Flux and deactivating her and carrying her away.
Okay. So
That's not what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that.
So, is there any kind of role in this ability to gauge how this happens, or you're just able to extract this memory?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And you,
OP to me.
so you place your hands. Tell me what it looks like as you begin to do this. Let's narrate the scene.
Yeah, so I go down on my knee, I roll him over to his back, hands over the ears, runes touching the ears. The spores kind of go into the ear, latch itself on the brain, and then like this is one of the only things that doesn't require shadow for me to access magic. This is strictly shooting through my arms into my sort of cognition up top. So I have like a That's So Raven flashback where I can kind of see this scene play out in my own head.
It enters your brain and almost lights up like a memory does, right? It creeps in and turns itself on inside like a flickering screen. You see through the eyes of this Slinth as it seems to be making its way through the half pipe of sewers beneath Amicora. There's only a small amount of water in the bottom, and every once in a while he splashes in, and what you realize is that he's sort of arcing up onto the sides. The flow of water all of a sudden comes in and then subsides, and this creature seems to gain pleasure from running up and away from the water coming in. Then ahead you notice a pile laying in the bottom of this culvert. As you get closer, you notice it's a pile of what appears to be food scraps mixed with
mud and indiscernible kinds of slime and other things that might be in a sewer. It slides to a halt. It comes in. It smells. You can almost feel the smell itself in your memory. It's a mix of rotting food, fecal matter, stagnant water, all comes rushing in.
Yummy.
This thing thrusts its face into it, almost pushing it up to the eyes. You see its eyes moving up and down as it seems to be devouring this pile in front of it. And then with that, you hear the rush of water. Its head picks up, the food scraps falling away from its face. It looks over its shoulder, and you see a wave of water coming in as it scurries up the wall and disappears into the darkness.
How was that satisfaction?
I was rolling to see whether I'm gonna throw up or not when I come out. I critted. So
Dude,
First to crit.
come on.
with that being said, I feel good after that sensation. It weirdly transferred. I thought it was gonna gross me out, but I felt the feeling, like, when Spock kind of does the thing as well. I felt that emotion.
The mind meld.
The mind meld. I felt the emotion.
The emotion you feel, actually, has a lot to do with you didn't realize that joy could be experienced in something like this.
Yeah.
So you've gained perspective.
Humanize them a little bit.
Maybe.
As you come out of it, Sparky's face is just like right up in your grill. What are you doing?
Nosy.
And I'm just gonna kind of get up and look around to see, like, if anybody is around watching or anything. I'm gonna keep that vision to myself.
Okay. So what's the plan?
So, where's Corin in relation to me? Where are you? Because you ran, Garrett.
No, I only ran up the alley a little bit and then summoned my thing that came.
So
I'm not that far away. I would have come back.
Baelith would have seen where Corin was as Fig kind of came back.
Yeah.
So she's gonna walk up to Corin.
Right.
And so I saw where they went. Should we follow them?
I think we should check out the warehouse or the lab first. I mean, it's good to know where they went.
Flo kind of shakes out their neck a little bit, walks towards both of you and says, I'm for looking at Aurora's lab.
Okay.
Show us where they went.
No, they're in the sewers.
Oh.
Ew.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. We kind of know the story of the guy that created these things. His fucking name.
Revraz.
Revraz.
What a little creature.
Revraz the muzzle.
Revraz.
They're always in the sewers.
I have a feeling that would be going into their domain.
Which isn't a bad idea, but maybe we, the safer option.
Well,
is to check it
they
out
have
at
something
the
to do
laboratory.
with it potentially, according to the crazy dude in the street. But I still want to check out the lab.
Wait.
Detective.
Detective.
Yes.
No, not you.
Sorry.
It's detective time.
That was fucking hysterical.
We heard about the rat things from Crazy Man. What if the reason the rat things attacked us is because they knew Crazy Man told us?
He would be a prime suspect. Yeah.
Is that what detectives say?
Yes.
Then he would be a prime suspect.
Good job, Sparky.
Thank you. I'm getting good at becoming a detective.
So good.
Thank you.
I'm not assuming that these. Well, wait. Can we use these backpacks?
Oh my god.
Huh.
Take them.
I want one.
There are 2 there.
He just twitched a little bit.
Yeah. It's always you, Garrett, with the curveballs, man.
I mean,
Not a curveball at all.
If
Could somebody take me to one of them?
I'll lead her over to one of the creatures.
I want.
What does his hand feel like?
I want to feel the construction of the backpacks and
Okay.
see if there's anything unique about them that I might recognize. Like how how some craftsmen have very particular ways of building.
Yeah.
That's what I would be feeling for.
Okay. Why don't you roll instinct or knowledge?
That's gonna
for
be
me?
instinct for sure. Which ones do I want? These 2.
I want to go to the one that I killed and fully just take the backpack and the weapon.
Okay.
Just to have.
Okay.
A 19 with hope.
A 19 with hope. So you bend down and you sort of begin to sort of feel this construction. Now, it seems to be in segments, first of all, right? So it appears as if the segments are meant to sort of round or move with the posture of the creature wearing it. Each segment appears to be made out of some kind of leather-clad metal box. And then you almost feel the wiring in between it. There's a warmth to this pack. It's a warmth that sort of you are familiar with because it comes from a concentration of Andira pellets or beads, the seed bean that is Andira. And as your hand moves around, you, sure enough, find the area where that battery, that sort of cell of Andira would be placed inside of that. So it's clearly drawing upon the arcane powers of an Andira cell. Does it feel like anyone that you would know?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. It's, well, let me ask this question. This is going to seem strange. How old are you?
I'm pretty old. Well, for a sorcerer, not so much. I'm around like 150.
Oh,
Jesus.
That's it.
not so old.
Yeah.
I'm young. I'm
young.
150.
I've got like half my life left.
Yeah. I would say this.
Galadriel core.
Given that, right, this is somewhat familiar.
Okay.
It really smells of Revraz the Muzzle and his, 19's a good roll. So I'm going to say that it kind of has that kind of, there was a real renegade kind of style with which Revraz used to build. And that leather-wrapped metal kind of gives it away a little bit. So,
Okay.
plus their armor is also like that. There's like this waxed cloth and leather-wrapped metal structure, which is both soft and hard at the same time. So there's a rigidity to it, but not so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have, as I'm feeling, I would relay some of what I'm finding to the group. That included.
Gotcha.
Not every little detail.
Sparky, you said you're taking one of these?
I want to see if there are any salvageable parts. Or I'm curious about not necessarily just the weapon in its form as like this is a crazy fucking flamethrower. I'm curious about power source, and I'm curious about the way that the initial reaction to produce the projectile is created. And kind of like the elemental or magical aspect of that.
Okay. Now, are you looking to ascertain that now, or is this a slow study over time?
This might be a slower study.
Fair enough.
So I'm curious to see if I can just loot the rat, for lack of better phrasing.
Well, you could certainly take the whole structure. Taking the structure apart, taking the actual whole unit apart might take some time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a thing.
It's easy enough to loot in the immediate sense.
Yes, I'm gonna take it.
Okay. You can add that to your inventory.
Sweet. Give it a loot.
Anybody else before we move on, or?
Well, if we're looting the rats and getting ready to go, I'm gonna kind of like line the dead rats up in an alleyway, like by the trash. Get them out of the street.
How about,
Appropriately enough.
why don't we take one to have and one to dissect, so we can see how they're built and what's going on the inside.
The
The
rats
weapon?
or
The
the
weapons,
weapon?
not the rats.
I thought you were talking about the
Not the rats.
No.
Not the rats.
I would.
Well,
make,
maybe the rats. They got some interesting mechanics in there.
I have an idea. I'm not going to share it because it's a tinkering idea.
Hey, keep your
Okay.
secrets.
I mean, whoever wants to take the second
parts
backpack.
is parts for the second backpack.
I mean, I'll take the second backpack.
Somebody else take it.
Rook, do you want the backpack?
I don't need the backpack. No.
Rook doesn't want the backpack. I'll take the damn backpack.
Fine.
Okay.
Garrett, can I ask you a question? Was your shadow visible to everybody that you spawned earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Okay.
logging that.
Yeah, it came up out of the ground.
Cool. Cool.
You could see it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Noted.
Looked like me. Monkey features. Tail.
Nice tail.
Shadow.
Shadow tail.
Okay.
Sparky kind of goes up to Flo with the weapon in hand. He just goes, Flo, I'm going to make fire.
Oh boy.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
Jesus
As
Christ.
one does.
I can help you with that.
Can I look around for any familiar scoundrels that I trust?
Sure. You can make an instinct roll if you want to.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. It's gonna be a 10 with hope.
So the streets cleared pretty quickly of what few people were on them in this area when this fight broke out, and right now there's not a lot of action going on. But I would imagine if you spent a chunk of time, you could certainly find somebody given your presence in the city. How much time do you want to spend doing this?
Well, as much time as it takes for us to, before we move on. But if we're moving on quick, then I could pass on it, you know?
It's up to you.
Let's
You can spend as
start
much
going
time
to the
or as little
workshop.
time as you want.
If we're looking to go, then I could forgo what I was gonna do.
Okay. You're not far from Aurora Flux's workshop, actually. Yeah.
As we're walking, I just want it noted that I want to be in front of Rook, and Fig is going to be just turned around looking at him on my shoulder.
Okay.
Just as a little note visually.
Got it.
Rook
Noted.
sweats a little.
As we're walking, Sparky is gonna kind of is probably gonna be in the general area of Flo, and is just gonna kind of take note of the electrical discharge that he used in the combat. With two small fingers tighten a bolt on their right shoulder and just say, "You shoot well. You do that often, and it's good." And I'm going to use a soldier's bond. Once per long rest, when you compliment someone or ask them about something they're good at, you can both gain 3 hope.
Oh my god!
So
really?
Wait, that's crazy.
Flo and Sparky gain
Thank you.
3 hope.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Fantastic.
I love playing a support character.
And with that, Flo would like to beeline to Aurora's.
Yeah.
I follow.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay. So it's only a matter of minutes, 3 or 4 minutes tops. And you make your way through the streets and you find yourself standing at the base of Aurora's workshop. Aurora's workshop has a kind of noteworthy feel to it. Like I said earlier, it's one of the tallest buildings in the Tinker's Ward. But it also has a few features that are truly bizarre. So, one, if the 6 or 7 stories high that this is weren't enough, there is also a massive rod of metal that rises up off the top of the building another 40 feet, like an antenna or a spire of sorts. Very narrow, not like a spire you'd see on a church, but this one being more like an antenna that rises up off of there. 2, the building has an exterior that is made almost entirely of metal. Most of the buildings in Amicora and the Tinkerer's Ward, they might have a smattering of found metal here and there, but her building seems to be made entirely of metal. So that strikes you as odd. As you approach the front door, you immediately feel the hum. The hum that is resonating from this space is deep within the building and penetrates the ground up and through your feet. You all sense it almost instantly. The front door is also made of metal, seems to be very well secured. And next to the front door, you notice that there is a small rectangular panel, and there's a perforation of holes in that panel in a circular sort of array, almost as if there might be a small speaker in there. Below that panel is a big brass button. What are we doing?
Push the button.
Flo's going to walk up to the front door and kind of look side to side, see if there's anybody directly paying attention. And would like to bend in to inspect the speaker a little bit closer.
Okay.
And would kind of make also a little guttural noise, a little.
Oh, okay.
And with that, Flo's bottom mandible is going to spread open.
Oh.
And the 2 lower incisors and Flo's jaw are going to be placed right directly into the 2 opposite holes to kind of interface with the speaker. And
You go.
Flo's going to expend a hope to utilize the experience of bent ethereal antenna and try to unlock the door. And while going about this interface, you see Flo's tail kind of swirl around to the hinge, the lowest hinge of the door, and kind of spread apart and touch the top and the bottom of the hinge.
Wow.
So the hope is
Grounding in here.
yes.
Yeah.
To
What are we rolling for before we roll?
we're rolling. I really would love to gain entry.
So you're attempting to unlock this door by sort of
Channeling some electrical energy from my elemental feature of utilizing my ability to generate electrical current.
Does this in any way relate to your experience?
Well, it does to bent ethereal antenna is sort of utilized generally as like a intuitive understanding of mechanical and yet spiritual, like understanding what the mechanism might be in there to also kind of map out through the circuitry of the speaker to see how the lock is built in.
Now, I'm not trying to give anybody, I'm not trying to, prompt things in the game here, but I haven't heard this take place yet, and I'm guessing that might be because you don't realize you can do it. But realize that if you want to, when something like this is about to happen, if it's appropriate and it seems like it fits the narrative, you can spend a hope to help someone do something, and then you would gain a d6 on that roll. I'm just putting that out there so you know it's available. You do not have to do it.
Let me. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
A discovery question. Can you spend an additional hope to use an additional experience?
Yes.
When doing
If it
something.
counts.
Yes, if it works, you can.
Okay. Then I'm going to spend another hope
Thank you, Garrett.
to work off of the opposites attract experience, which was basically related to my father and my mother, and the way that they interfaced. My father. Well, I mean, do I go into it here?
Wow, here we go.
No, let's keep with the.
Okay.
Let's keep with the.
So I'm just going to use the opposites attract as well, which is related directly to the scomp link, which would be my mandibles going in and kind of utilizing that. So it's doubling down on that.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll say this. I'm going to set a difficulty on this.
Oh boy.
And
Okay.
I'm going to make it clear what you're rolling against and what the consequences are in case you don't succeed.
Very well.
Because you're unfamiliar with the mechanisms in this building and you're really just kind of taking a guess, although you do have familiarity with it. So I'm going to say that the difficulty of unlocking this door from the get-go would have been high. Like if you just tried to pick this lock in the traditional sense, the difficulty would have been a lot higher. But because you're utilizing this very unique thing, I'm going to drop that difficulty class to 14. Okay, so right away, you're going to have an easier time getting into this. However, should you fail, now the consequences are going to be greater. Because if you did just pick the lock, succeed, fail, fear, hope, not much is going to happen to you. You have interfaced with a building with your very body. A building that is probably rife with all kinds of energy sources. So I will say that if you succeed with hope, or fear, great. We'll talk about what happens. Critical success, you're getting in the building. Okay? Succeed with hope, there will be some positive consequences or results from that. Succeed with fear, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but if you fail, you are going to take 2d12 plus 3 magic damage.
I like that.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Trying to shock that building.
Can I take a few steps back?
You can step back as far as you want.
I just have a question about the building. Are there windows?
Up above, sure.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And
I'm
gonna step in here now.
I've got a plan B.
Flow over here is jacked in.
Yeah.
What the
Or
fuck?
checked.
But does this there's a lock on the door?
There's a
Or is that what Flow is like inserted themselves into?
flow is inserted into some of the electronic components of
the speaker?
What looks like the speaker, and then grounded out through the hinges of the door.
Okay. So from what I can tell, is this a mechanical lock that would be on the door? Magical lock? Do I have an idea?
So do
I would say that given your knowledge of things, it looks like it's probably a mechanical lock.
Is there any way that I could assist Flo with my ability of pick and pull? That I have advantage on picking non-magical locks?
So you could spend a hope to give an extra d6 to Flo's roll.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right.
Question. There, you said there was also button, correct?
Yes.
Could I, if I were to expend a hope to, because I'm thinking of my own experience of self-tinkered, which refers to the time Sparky spent repairing and essentially rebuilding themselves.
Right.
I'm curious if I could kind of loosen a single plate of armor plate on my index finger, pull that off, pry it underneath the button, raise that button, and then in doing so pull one of the wires out and pull it up to Flo's kind of scomp link apparatus to create a new line of current and possibly grant further access or a better chance.
We can only have one hope spent here
Yeah.
too. And I mean, we could group action this, right? But then that could go very differently.
Yeah.
So I'll let you decide how you want to do it. You can certainly build that into the narrative of
Yeah.
what's going on, but ultimately there will be only one hope spent to the D6 advantage.
Does group action require consent?
Wow.
Because my group action is stepping the fuck back.
I think
If that helps
honestly,
anybody, good. But when
the assassin lockpick ability might be a better way to go.
So, I don't know if Spiely's still in the chat or not. I could try and look it up in the book really quick. I think something I was watching, or that I heard, was if there was multiple advantages, the person making the roll can do the multiple advantages, but takes the highest number, and that's the one that they use.
Spiely, help.
Oh,
I'm pretty.
that seems to make
I'm
perfect
pretty
sense to
sure
me.
that like multiple
I
PCs
like
could
that.
help, and I'm pretty sure like
So you would roll the d6 for me.
I am.
Spiely's here.
Spiely's here.
Spiely's here.
Thank you, Spiely.
Let's see what Spiely says.
Yeah, I mean, has Spiely, because they seem to be kind of
Correct.
like.
Spiely says correct.
All right.
Huzzah!
So if there are ways that
All
you
right.
could,
So there you go.
Yeah.
And Witcher had that too. Witcher just chimed in that they remember that rule. So yeah, I did. I saw
right.
that. So if there's multiple PCs that are able to grant someone,
So then we would have a D6 of advantage from you
Yeah.
and a D6 of advantage from you.
Rock.
so
You
roll.
can choose to roll 2 D6s and take the higher of the
Yeah.
2 numbers there.
Very well.
So there you go.
Do it, baby.
And that's in addition to the experience bonuses. And then do I roll with like instinct or presence or?
Or is it flat?
I think it's what he would.
Well,
determine,
I'm going to
right?
actually let you. So
I
I would say that you could
always
probably roll within reason. Give me what you think you would roll with, because oftentimes we allow a choice, right? I'm not going to dictate exactly what you should roll with. You might feel more comfortable. You might be able to build into the narrative better, like finesse, rather than knowledge, right? But that's up to you.
Right. Well, I feel like it would. I've already kind of used this bent ethereal antenna skill, which is kind of using an instinct. But like you said, there's a finesse around that. So navigating these electrical currents and pathways would probably be a finesse roll.
I think that's great.
I have one quick thing that I would
Oh
love
my
to
God! By
add.
the time we get to this, I'll
Jesus
forget
Christ,
how
right?
difficult
Just
it
to
was.
open a door.
I'm an old guy.
You're using,
crying out loud.
14, right?
Because you're using electricity, right?
Yes.
Don't you have something with your elemental subclass with your lightning that gives you another bonus?
Wait, let's do this. Todd,
Can we do
in
plan B
this
while this is
meantime,
happening?
can we act while these
Can we
guys
do
are
an
on
action?
10 years?
Can I just let this happen, please? Let's just let this happen.
I
and
can-
you'll get your scene. Don't worry.
I can shape this element of electricity into harmless effects. Additionally, I can spend another hope and describe how I control it over this element in an action roll that I'm about to make. Either gain a +2 bonus to the roll or +3 bonus to the roll's damage. I've already spent 2 hope on this. Just to open a door.
You
I'm
gotta
just
roll
gonna-
a 10.
Right. Was it a 10 or 14?
Stay tuned
Here,
until
you have
next
a
week
+2,
when we
+2.
decide how to open
Yeah.
the door.
That's where we end tonight, guys.
260, the advantages.
Do we gotta roll those first?
You can roll
all
them
together.
Roll them all together. Big numbers, baby. Daggerheart's about big numbers. Fuck yeah.
Okay, so 11, 20.
Remember, you get one of those D6s, not both. Pick the higher
Right.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Now, I want to just set the scene really quick. We've got the 9-foot robot, the 6-foot
one.
gorilla
With a
creature,
dislocated knuckle holding up a button
holding
with a
up
wire
a
out
button,
into your mandible.
and then
Yeah.
the dragon clank
Watch
that
the
is
door has
just
been open the whole time.
jacked
it wasn't
in.
actually locked.
to multiple spots on this.
swear.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just trying to picture it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty great
good.
visual.
Spiely
So-
says, door's the real big bad of every campaign.
Yeah.
That's a 24 with hope.
A 24 with hope.
I'm gonna say you got in the door.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
like I said before, a critical success would open the door. A success with hope would have something good happen. This Tetris of players characters wrapped around this door in an impossible game of Amicora Twister. You feel, as you sort of begin to patch in, you feel this just light electrical charge move through you, out through your tail, down through the hinge. Something happened. Something happened. Do you hear the bolt of the door unlatch? No. But what you do hear, all of a sudden, is... Good God. Who's out there? And what the hell are you doing?
Trying to come in and say hello.
Oh my god.
Why should I be taking visitors now? Things are obviously not in good shape. Why are you all outside my door?
Aurora?
We've been sent by Nala.
Nala?
Mm-hmm.
What are you up to? Why has Nala sent you?
Do we recognize this as the voice of Aurora Flux?
No.
Oh!
How many of you have close relationships with Aurora Flux?
I'm cool with her. I'm not that close.
But I'm going
had
to safely say
conversation.
that none of you have ever actually been in her workshop before. Okay? So, you know this is not her, but you're not sure who it is. Hello? Are you still there?
Yes.
All right. Well, I want an answer.
Nala wants us to find out where Aurora might be.
We are friends of hers.
What's your name?
SP4K-33, but you can call me Sparky, either with a Y or with a hyphen and 2 E's, because I'm told that it's a hyphen.
All right. Good lord.
Okay.
I'm Flocutus.
Yes.
To DM.
GM.
Okay. My bad.
There's no dungeon here.
I'm sorry. While
Anytime.
these introductions are happening, Valeth would have simply tapped on Rook's shoulder and said, "Can you just kind of get this over with a little bit? Up, up, up." Tap on his shoulder, and I'm casting Wall Walk.
Yeah, we would have done
Which-
this in the meantime of
Yeah.
All of the other
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's right. You did want to have a scene.
Yeah,
I
so
kinda
it
went past
allows any creature I can touch to climb on the wall and ceilings as easily as walking on the ground, and it lasts until the end of the scene or until I cast it again.
So we're gonna go up and peer through the windows.
And it's spending a hope to do
So
that.
you're walking up and you're sending Fig.
I'm tapping him, and we never talked about duration of how long I can see through Fig.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at least sending him up the wall
Okay.
to one of the windows.
We will cover all this
Yes,
after tonight's
yeah.
game.
Yeah, I
We'll
figured,
figure all
but
that
so,
out.
yeah.
Just like
In the meantime,
as I'm like casually like
Just
like
strutting
this
up
is
the-
normal. I got hands in my pockets, kind of like peering in the windows.
So you
Yeah.
go up to the second floor and start peering through the windows?
Yeah.
Okay. You immediately see on the second floor as you look through this set of, windows that they almost look like they've been pulled out of different buildings that were being demolished and sort of cobbled together in some kind of haphazard way. Some of the panes are almost opaque, others are clear, right? Some are filled in with wood. You find a decently clear one and you look inside, and there before you is a relatively nice room laid out. There are some arcane lanterns lit, so there's a blue glow light to the interior of the space. There are several long tables inside of this space. On top of those tables, you see all manner of metal gears, metal parts, tools, hammers, different types of ratcheting screwdrivers laying all over the place as if some project is underway.
This is her workspace. I'm putting together.
It is a workspace, yes.
I am going to spend a hope to kind of have this shadow in the corner of the room kind of breathe, take a little bit of a breath, and then on the exhale, it's going to kind of shoot out this form that kind of lands on all fours. And I'm gonna have it kind of crawl up to the window. And it smiles at me and it's happy to see me. And I'm gonna have it open the window for me.
Okay. So, these windows are tricky, but for the sake of the narrative, sure, I'll have the window open for you.
Am I able to help with that?
With
one of my experiences?
It's really, I mean...
I don't know if this would be like one of those times.
I don't know if that's necessarily...
Okay.
And actually, it's probably not even necessary because given the situation, yeah, the window can open.
So it opens. Thank you. And then it kind of like I don't know if anybody's watching me, but it just looks like I grab something, but it like grabs my arm and it like pulls me in and helps me in. And I'm in the space now. Going to look around, see if there's any.
Okay, so you drop into this space.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cut back to the scene with the door for a second.
Yeah.
So you're there and you're speaking into this small speaker, and all of a sudden you hear the voice go, "Oh, good God, what are you doing in here?" Which is exactly what you hear as you turn and look. And there, to the right of the table, which you didn't see when you first looked into the space, is a chair. Next to that chair is a sort of an end table, and on the end table is a small, what looks like an intercom device, a box with a button on it.
Oh my God.
And there, sitting
God.
there, turns and looks at you. You see the head of a living rabbit.
No.
A hare. His head is a decent size. He has fur.
What's
He
his
has
name?
eyes that almost
Requiem.
seem slightly mechanical. He turns and looks at you, and the first thing you notice is his entire side is open, and there's this acrylic covering on it, or some kind of clear covering on it, and inside you see this whole little mechanical piston system moving back and forth, and he's like, "What are you doing in here?"
I'm gonna kind of smile at him, reach into my jacket, pull out my badge, kind of fling it open.
"Are you with them?"
Yeah, I'm with them.
For fuck's sake.
Wait, just let him up.
And with that, you guys hear the door bolt kind of go, opens, and the door just sort of begins to open up.
Breaking and entering.
We did it.
Flo, you did it.
Yay!
No, none of you saw that I sent Rook up the wall.
Yeah, and I'm gonna point this out here. That exchange between me and Vaylith hinted at experience working together before, with how easy breezy communicative it was.
Interesting.
But just to
But
those
not
paying
super,
attention,
not super
obvious,
but also a little reluctant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. This hare scurries out of the room. You see a stairwell on the far end of the room, and he hops down the stairs. The rest of you pass through this doorway, and you see this entry parlor, which you didn't notice this before as you were sort of looking at the building, but to the right of this door was a very large, what appeared to be kind of roll-up door. And so when you pass into this space, the entire space is filled with crates and boxes and barrels and open containers that are overflowing with different metal parts and gears. There are tables where things are organized and stacked. In the back of the room, there is a spiral staircase that comes down, and you see this mechanized hare coming down the stairs. Yeah.
Can you give me some smells or sounds?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So as you're obviously walking into
I
the
would
rest
have.
of
I would
them.
have taken Sparky's elbow again.
Yeah.
Okay, so this space,
Robot.
this space is a perfect space to talk about smells, because as you pass through the door, first of all, the smells of the city are many. From spice traders, the smoke of forges and coal burning, to the sort of smoke that's produced when, different types of fuel furnaces fire, or the pneumatic grease of some kind of piston. It's always filled with a vast range. Plus, you've got the salt air. You've got, the various alcoholics in the street. There's a lot of smells. This one's different. Inside this space, yes, there is the familiar sort of ozone tinge to the air. But there's a new smell here. And inside this space, you smell something that is musty or mildewy on some level, like dampness has crept in, like something is growing, like there's a smell of soil almost. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Very prevalent in this space. This hair goes down the stairs and he's like, all right, you got in. You got in. Congratulations. And he hops across the room and slams the door closed, gets up high on his hind legs with the two front paws forward and actually pulls down on this mechanized lever and locks the place. And he turns around and looks at you and he's like, all right. So, where is she? Have you found her?
We're looking. We were told to check here.
Well, if I knew anything, I'd be out getting her myself.
Oh.
So far, we've got some pretty serious problems.
Is the hum one of those?
Is the hum one of the sounds?
And I kind of like, well, I'm asking if the hum in the space is one of those problems.
He's like, well, it could be. I'm frankly a little bit worried about it. And don't expect me to show it to you.
Okay.
Do I see anything
Sparky
upstairs?
walks
Because I lurked around upstairs, poking around while he went downstairs. Do I see the hum? Do I see anything upstairs of note?
Well, first of all, from glancing at the building from the outside, you know that you're only on a single floor of at least 6, possibly 7. So in this room, there's nothing really of note, but you do know that on the far end of the room, opposite of the one that the rabbit went down the stairs, there's a doorway, and that the stairway that the rabbit went down also goes up.
I'm gonna check out the door. Like, what? Do I hear anything in the other end of the doorway?
There's no change in that resonance in the space that you're in from what you heard outside, with one exception. You feel like it is coming from above now. All of a sudden that you're ensconced in the building.
Yeah.
The directionality of the sound seems to improve, and so you do feel like it is coming from above.
Sorry, the doorway, is this an extra room on this level before I would go up?
Say that again?
This doorway, you said there was a doorway,
Yeah.
and then there was a stairway going up.
Yeah.
Is the door shut right there? It
Yep.
seems like there's another
It's
door
on
on
the
this
opposite
level.
side of the room from the stairway, and it is shut.
I'm gonna try to have my guy open it.
Your shadow guy?
Yeah.
Okay. The door's unlocked, and you're easily able to open it up. Is your shadow guy across the room doing this, and you're not near it?
And I'm looking at the stairway as he's doing this.
Okay. You see that the stairway goes up multiple floors. So it's a spiral staircase that winds up through the building.
Yeah.
And it seems to have a landing on the floor above you. And if you crane your neck just right, you can see that there's another one above that.
All right. Can I have some? I'm gonna passively lurk as they're talking downstairs, moving up slowly, safely.
You're going upstairs. What about your shadow guy who opened the door? Anything with that? Or?
Well, I would have looked in that room. It's all passive, so I want to say I would have checked out all these rooms as I move up.
Okay. So
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're covering a lot of ground with this,
Yeah.
You want to, you're the guy who draws all the enemies out in the map before anybody gets a chance to do it. Give me a couple minutes.
Cool.
Okay. The rest of you are downstairs with this automated, for lack of a better word, rabbit. So he's curious. So,
Well, try and piece together a timeline. When was the last time you saw Aurora?
2 nights ago, exactly.
2 nights. Okay.
What's your name?
My name is Requiem. Rec for short.
Rick.
It's nice to meet you.
And you. I don't have much patience for these sorts of things. With Aurora being gone and unaccounted for, I'm quite worried. Now, I will help in any way that I can within reason and respecting the bounds that Aurora has set forth. She's my top priority, so you'll get what I allow.
You saw You said that you haven't seen her in 2 nights. We had somebody that's saying that they saw her last night, coming here. Were you home?
Well, I can assure you she was not here last night. I didn't get any sleep at all. Not that I need it, but I didn't get any.
Was she acting unusual the last time you saw her?
Well, as far as I know, no, because I saw her go to bed, and when I woke up the next morning, she was gone. So it's hard for me to know exactly what happened. With all these
That
lovely
must be-
things and inventions that we have in this house, one thing I don't have is a way to track where she is. That would certainly be nice.
That must have been terrible for you. I'm so sorry.
Did it seem as if she left on her own accord?
There was no sign of a break-in. I did notice that. Plus, it's very hard to get in this building, and
Yes.
I'm not quite sure how or what you were trying to do.
It wasn't super hard to get in.
Did you see any rats?
Are you talking about the Slinth?
Yes.
Yes, I've seen them. They've tried to break in twice now. If you check the room next door to this, you'll find 3 neatly stacked bodies, which I was capable of dispatching.
Good job.
I'm going to start to smell soon.
It's a powerful little rabbit.
Does he see that we have 2 backpacks?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Maybe the crazy guy we don't like lied to us about the timeline of events.
We spoke to Jinx. Briefly.
Heard of him. Not the most reliable source of information.
No.
Well, I could say this. Have a look about. You're welcome to look at the place, investigate, do what you need to do. Don't break anything.
Okay.
All right. Back to you, Rook.
Yeah.
You're looking about.
Yeah.
You head up to the 3rd floor. What are the I'll get to the rest of you in a second. You head up to the 3rd floor, and as you cross over to the threshold, that smell that I described to Valeth, that pungent, moldy smell, all of a sudden grows much stronger in that space as you step into it. Nothing's apparent right in front of you, but 5 feet into this space, there is a wall of glass, and there is a door in the wall of glass. From inside, there's a gentle illumination of what seems to be some kind of arcane light, bluish in nature as usual, but there's also steam or moisture running down the insides of these walls.
And it smells like mold.
It's got a moldy smell to it.
One, I love that. As a fungal, I say yes to the smell. And I'm gonna kind of like move closer. I'm not gonna touch it or anything. But in the room, you said there's just this arcane light emanating from the side of the room. What's actually like? Is there any other things other than that structurally in that room?
No, you just see the glass wall fogged over by the moisture, door in the middle of that wall, and this blue light glowing from within.
But the hum's not coming from there.
You don't sense the hum getting any louder from this room. It still appears to be coming from above.
No, my monkey's not my circus. I'm gonna move up.
Okay, what are the rest of you doing?
Should we look around? Where the fuck is Rook?
Yeah, Rook just kind of left us to our own accord.
Yeah.
Well, Rook.
You notice that
Rook's
Requiem
upstairs.
kind of pops off over and starts tending to some things by boxes. Every once in a while, he glances over his shoulder and looks at you and then goes back to what he's doing. He's got a very, very evident, and Valeth, you're aware of this, but you can almost hear all the gears and mechanisms inside this thing. It's like, as he moves.
I want to go and check out the bodies that Rex stacked up in the other room.
Okay.
Kind of just see if there were any similarities to the ones that we did battle with earlier. If there's any loose parts that I could maybe take. Or if the other thing that I wanted to look for is sewer refuse. Anything that would point to a specific sewer theme or part of the sewers, maybe. I don't know.
I'm not sure what you're asking for.
Like, if there was any grime or scraps of refuse and gunk.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No problem.
That kind of thing that might give me any sort of clue.
Well, when you wander off into the room that you were pointed to by Requiem, you do see 3 sewer rat bodies, similar to the kinds that you were battling, but they have been stripped of everything. So they are kind of like in their rawest nature. Now, what's weird about that is there are some augmented parts on these guys that could not be stripped, like those brass claws. And you notice upon closer inspection, because before they were covered by gloves, those brass blades actually go inside their bodies and attach to them. So they look to be a little painful looking, frankly.
Oh. I don't like it.
Lydia? Sorry, Bailey.
So Valeth would have taken Fig from her shoulder to her hand, and kind of how she had her arm out waiting for him before, says the simple command of stairs, and using this, Fig kind of finds the stairwell in the house.
Okay.
To go upstairs.
And are you following?
Fig is on me, so it's using like the weight directing to find the stairs.
Okay, so you're working your way up the stairs through Fig's guidance.
Yeah.
Okay. Locutus.
Cool. Walks over to Rek. Gently approaches and says, "Have you been assisting Aurora with this Veritas engine?"
I have.
So, how much has Aurora talked to you about sentience and how it occurs in the technological advancement?
Roll a presence roll for me to see how well you convince this creature to talk with you.
That is a 12 with hope.
12 with hope. Nice. Requiem turns to you and says, "It's her lifelong passion. She's been pursuing this for a long time, and she gave me a second chance at life.
I have heard that tale.
So I owe her my loyalty, and I will tell you that it is part of her work, and that she is looking to gain that. I think I can tell you that much."
That has been indicated in conversations that we've had, she and I, and Sparky was present for some of that. She was interested in my birth, creation.
She looks at you, or he looks at you and says, "Flo Cutis, yes, I remember you. I remember her talking about you. She has a great interest in how you were brought into being. You're both mechanical and biological, is that right?"
Yes.
I know that she was planning on talking to you further about how those things go together.
I'm not entirely positive how it all worked out together.
She's mentioned you quite a bit.
My father, Horace, worked in a lab, building things for scientists. He was like their mechanic. He was very close to their experiment, which was a clank that could generate life, reproduce.
Give birth.
Yes.
So your mother was a clank.
Yes.
That's absolutely fascinating.
I didn't know her.
This explains a lot why she wanted to talk to you. Come with me for a moment. Come with me.
Fleur
And he-
follows.
Yeah. Hops around a whole series of barrels and boxes in the space. And in the back of the one storage area, there's a door. And he reaches up. There's a lower latch for him. He reaches up and pulls the lower latch, and the door opens, and he leads you inside. And all of a sudden, as this door opens, first of all, the door is incredibly thick. He opens this door up, and you hear... You can hear this very deep resonating hum. He's like, don't worry, I think it's fine, but come.
Okay.
Has
Yeah,
it
it's cool.
changed
All right.
recently?
It's fine.
Or
Well, it seems to get a bit louder as time goes on, and I'm frankly not sure how long that's going to last, but let me
That's
show you
comforting.
something.
Fear.
And so, in the room, he moves aside a table, and behind the table there's a panel on the wall. And he opens up that panel, and inside, like resting almost on a holder of sorts, it's like a rectilinear box that this thing nests in. He pulls out this box is about maybe 18 inches by about 11 inches across, right? It's got rounded edges. It looks like it is made entirely of metal, and it's almost seamless. It's not quite featureless on the outside, but one thing you notice is that there is a plug in it that connects to a wire that goes up inside the wall. And the wall, or the wire itself, almost appears to glow. There's slack in the wire, which allows him to pluck this thing from its holder, and he pulls it out. You look at the surface, it's smooth. And on that surface, there are 3 thin, long glass windows that are vertical. 2 of them are glowing that typical Andira blue. One of them glows purple black. And the hum that comes out of this thing is super intense. Now you can feel it deep inside of you. On the top is a series of perforations just like the one that you saw on the outside door. This device, for lack of a better word, somehow meters truth. He takes it out and he says to you, Aurora experimented with all of the various ways in which the energies of the universe could come together. This scene is playing out like a montage. You're going up the stairs, you've passed by the 2nd floor, you're at the 3rd floor, and you see this glass room. The smell, the pungent smell, is really powerful. Requiem continues the explanation to Flocutus as you walk up to that door. And it's almost like these things are all happening at one time. She was curious about the various ways in which magical energies were derived from the universe. And of course, here in Amicora, we're used to Andira as our source. But you may or may not know this, but deeper in to the continent where the mycelial network lives, and as you open the door, you see this vast array of tables that are set out in a pattern. And in each of them is this massive mound of wood shavings and moss, and growing up out of it are all these beautiful mushrooms with these purple and white caps on them that hang down like a conical form growing out of there. And as you open up, you just smell that sort of soily smell come at you. You're on your way upstairs. You rise up to the 4th floor. And as you get to the 4th floor, you see a series of hulking, braided copper wires bolted into the wall, twisting up into the actual framework of the building. They look almost as if they rise up all the way to the roof. An energy system that drops down. They're connected to these electrodes that drop down into these massive tanks of some kind of gel. The gel is black. And I'm talking about black like a void. Ew. Requiem looks at you. And he's like, all of these things she's brought together because she believed
that if you brought all three of those sources together, life is created. That's where it's created. And so for her to harness that, if we're able to harness Andira and make an automaton, a clank from Andira, and allow it to think and move and act, if all three were brought into play, that would give that thing life. That is what she's put in this. And with that, as you've discovered this mushroom paradise, and you have discovered this strange void of black gel, that little perforated speaker goes, and you hear in the distance, far off, this voice, and it says, "Requiem, are you there?"
God.
And that's where we're gonna end.
No!
God. You suck.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Dude.
You son of a bitch.
Oh man.
Is that Cone of Lotuja?
Well, that would be metagaming, wouldn't it? Okay, so for all of you that are out there watching right now, oh my God, thank you. There's so many new subscribers and so many of you hung out for such a long time.
We're so
we love you.
close to
We have to give away that building. So if you have not jumped into the Discord and registered for that giveaway, you have less than a minute to do that, because I'm probably going to talk a lot before we actually draw it. But a couple of requirements. One, I am not shipping this thing out of the country, so because that is just an absolute nightmare. So you do have to be at a U.S. address if you are winning this.
Yeah, every time he takes a sip, he said hello to the chat tonight. If anybody noticed.
I didn't notice that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not every single time. It was from
Close.
like halftime on.
I
kinda.
also want to say that Garrett and I have been in the chat trying to get us to.
We hit it.
We've been trying.
We hit it.
No, we have. Oh, really?
That's up there.
Oh!
25.
Wow.
Listen,
it hasn't gone on the stream.
I am really hoping we get to 2,000 by the next. Now, listen, next week we are off because I will be vacationing, and I think a couple of others of you are away. So we will be back on the 22nd of July for session number 2. Just a reminder to that. And have we gotten any new joiners in the Discord?
Oh yeah, we got a bunch in the beginning.
Well, for the giveaway.
Okay.
Specifically, I think.
Are we ready to give it away? How many people are in the giveaway? We have 8 people in the giveaway. So somebody of that 8 is going to win that house.
We're gonna roll a d8.
No.
Not gonna roll a D8.
Oh.
It's done automatically. Yep, I'm ready. Fire it away. Here we go.
Drum rolls.
Who is it?
Oh.
It's Kevery Things Art, who has been in for a while. Kevery Things Art. You won the house.
Huzzah!
That's awesome. Nicely done. Nicely done. That means I got to print a new one for the battle map next week. or in 2
Whoa.
weeks. 2 weeks.
Whoa. Crazy.
Another battle?
Another battle?
Maybe.
I hope so. I like combat in Daggerheart.
It's fun.
Combat in Daggerheart is beautifully fluid. I enjoy it too. All right, we are going to sign off. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love all of you. You are awesome. We're so happy to have you aboard. We will see you in 2 weeks for session 2 of A Clockwork Silence. Everybody, have a great week. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye-bye.